What's up, misfits and vagabonds? This is the 16th annual episode of the Sunday Puddcast. I'm joined by my usual co-host, the M to the P, the L to the N, the E to the Event Horizon, Marshall Peterson.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Did you say annual podcast in that intro?
Yes, give or take.
We've been doing it like pretty good. No, that's okay. When you say annual podcast, it makes it sound like we only do it once a year.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Well, I feel like we've been doing it a lot more recently.
Yeah, that's be like 3 weeks on the trot if I get this up on time. I think.
I think if we continue this, I mean, here's the thing. I love doing these. I like recording these.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and I don't know. I think it's something that you don't have to put a ton of work into, like editing wise.
It's not. Like, a lot of it is getting myself like to the point where I say, all right, now I'm gonna edit the podcast.
It's a really fast render too.
Yeah.
Because even if it's 4 hours, it's still just 4 hours of audio.
Yeah, to me it feels like it's not as fast as it should be. Like, it's taking 5 minutes. I'm like, come on.
Well, it is a really long audio file.
Yeah, I know. Also, there's the thumbnail, and that thing that I have. That's the hardest part of editing. Is
you should get a GIF just to distract people.
They do these like Phoenix Wright animated things that people make fan stuff with.
Yeah.
And one time, I think for an update video, I did that, like talking, and I synced it up with my voice. So yeah, that's the thing.
That's a thing, yeah.
That's a thing. We could do that. What I was trying to say is we could do that if I was more, less lazy, where we could have two Phoenix Wright characters talking to sync up with our voices.
Yes, we should.
Yeah, if you want to do it, more power to you.
So guys, it's been crazy. So just for those of you who don't know, right now we're doing a flip on and off between sort of a regular sort of gaming Fallout tinted podcast, and then the next week we do a wrestling one, usually talking about the main of what?
It's not a week by week thing. It's just right this month it is a week by week thing, but only because of happenstance. Most of the time it'll be once a month, but this month it's been 1 week Fallout, 1 week wrestling, because there's been 2 events. Because next week we got another event to cover.
Yeah, so just know that, like, sometimes you might be more interested in a podcast. Like, if you were here for the wrestling stuff, this is not going to be for you, because we're really not going to talk about it.
The wrestling podcast got more views than episode 14.
So you might be here. You might be here for that. Yeah. And if you are, don't let Putty's
next week we're gonna shit on Fastlane.
Don't let Putty's most likely misleading thumbnail of us being wrestlers mislead you. No, I'm sure
I'll change the thumbnail.
You should pick Fallout characters for this one.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Our Fallout characters, I think I have those.
Oh, there you go. That's even better. Our Fallout characters.
So what was I even saying? I don't know.
Do you want me to... Because I have it actually written down here, what we're doing.
Well, I know what we're starting with is the channel updates and things.
Yeah. It's always a good place to start. So
I mean, I have a bunch of stuff to say, but if you...
Yeah, I mean, it's your channel. Let's start with you. How have you been? How have you been, Putty? What's up with your channel?
I've been off schedule for the most part, which reminds me I need to upload a video right now.
Me too.
I've been off schedule for a little bit. What I've been trying to do is hit 2 videos a week. The reason for that... I know. The reason why I wanted to hit 2 videos a week is because it meant I got more time to stretch out Lonesome Road.
Yeah.
And I still haven't managed to get the last 3-4 parts done. Because I've been ill for the most part. But, I can't use all excuses. I've also been lazy. We need to sit down and finalize some ideas for a final trilogy, as it were.
Yeah. We do. And we talked about this the last Fallout podcast, too.
Yeah. We're talking about more, basically what I call it finale, and then the finale's when you think it's time to work. So, a lot of hiatus is going to be all that stuff, but hopefully it will be worth it, because I got a lot of stories. And obviously, and I promise I'll pronounce the quest right this time.
You do know how to pronounce it right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a joke, but when you said that just now, I thought maybe, he doesn't know.
No, I can't.
I choose not.
I choose not to. No, it's not letting go. Just like travel. So yeah, there's a lot of hiatus. Like the podcast is consistent. We always come back here. First 15 minutes of the video, I'll tell you about this. Right now, there will be one up on Monday, and there will be one up on Thursday.
Okay.
You know you've got to do it.
Up to date with what? No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
No, it's alright.
I need to catch up.
I've been replying to me like, oh, okay, I'll watch this.
No, I'm saying I will eventually. I have been behind. I'm sorry, but I've been very busy. Well, that's one of my favorite thing about Let's Plays are is they're kind of timeless. They should be. They should be something that you can watch at any time.
I think I turned that up here, right?
It's interesting you say that because I also try not to talk about the things that are going on in my life in Fallout, but I always end up doing it, and it's not that bad because I don't pre-record Fallout nearly as much as I have Minecraft and Napoleon, but I try not to, and I end up just talking a lot about my life because unfortunately Fallout, I love the game.
Spoilers. Chris wins the auction.
I love Fallout to hell, but there is a lot of just looting and stuff. And generally, when I'm just looting, because I don't cut out large parts of Fallout, I generally just, talk about what's going on in my life. So I end up talking a lot about my own life in Fallout, which is something I want to cut down on. And I probably will in the Fallout 3 Let's Play, because it's going to be more streamlined, I want to say, or... Anyway, Fallout 3 Let's Play for me is going to be testing how good I can make a Let's Play, basically.
It's interesting that you're spending so much on making every episode quality and that when there's going to be so many episodes. If it was me, I think I would have tested on a smaller game. So
I am doing a test on, and it's already become an interesting how long it's taking me to... Well, Metro is going to be my test, and I haven't really found enough time. I really just need to sit down one day and just say, fuck it. I'm doing it today. Anyone else can go to hell.
Stream it all. Record
No, don't stream it. Because, I feel like if you stream something... For me, I'm so focused on the stream, I wouldn't be able to... Metro is going to be a role play.
How you stream, though. If you do a traditional stream, yeah. But sometimes I'll just stream me recording on LP. Sorry. Metro
is going to be a role play, and a lot of it might be post-commed. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to record it live comm in a role play style. I'm going to watch it after, and any parts that I don't think are very good, I'm going to re-record a post-comm for that part that I didn't think was good. So it should be a very interesting project. I want to make it a very, it's more to test out my role playing than it is my editing skills. My editing skills are really just going to be tested out when I hit the beaches on Fallout 3. But I'm talking so much about, we're still talking about your channel. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about your channel?
No, we're not. I thought we went on to yours.
Oh, okay. It was a natural transition, but I thought maybe I forced it. But yeah,
No, now you're forcing it. Damn it.
Damn it. Stop.
We're only 15 episodes in over the course of 2 years. It's fine.
In what play? In this?
Yeah.
But yeah, my channel has been going crazy. You've been trying to upload 2 parts a week. I've been trying to upload 2 parts a day. And one thing I've been doing a lot of recently is streaming. I find streaming is funny because it's something I love when people come to interact with me. I just love to talk to people live. It's really fun. But unfortunately, a lot of the games I'm streaming, a lot of the games I like to stream, no one comes to talk. And I think I actually came up with a way. If I do another Europa, after one of our Europa and Crusader Kings series is done, probably the Crusader Kings one will be done first on my Twitch one because it's basically just a simple one. After that one's done, I'm thinking about trying out one where basically I say anyone who wants to join the game can join it, and then basically viewers can join, because I heard of this one guy who did that with Crusader Kings, and basically he started out with 2 viewers, and a month later he had 100 because just people ate that shit up. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna try it out. But Twitch is a lot of fun, but it'd be more fun, like anything, if I had more people to interact with these. So that's a constant struggle, trying to get people to come out to the streams, watch them, interact. And then I end up recording all of it and uploading it to YouTube later. And the YouTube uploads for me are basically just filler, in a way, because they're not. I don't even come up with names for the top parts. I don't make thumbnails. Because I don't want to mislead people into thinking that they are
thumbnails.
I don't think I like the thumbnails for those. I might, but I don't know. I don't want anyone to be misleaded into thinking that it is a well done series at all. It is, well, okay, it's well done if you're watching it live, but I don't want people to be misled into thinking this is a Let's Play for YouTube. It was a Let's Play for Twitch that is being archived on YouTube, because I don't think anyone goes to Twitch. Well, people sometimes watch Twitch archives, but I think they watch. Yeah, they watch the YouTube archives. And so basically that's what it's for. And it means I can upload more content to the channel, which has been helping it to grow. I'm a few subscribers away from 300, which is exciting. I'm not sure what I'll be doing for that if I do something, because I missed the
Marshcast.
I missed the 200 subscriber special and the 250 subscriber special because it happened so quickly with all the shady whatever that was. But I've been climbing since then pretty steadily, and now I don't know what I'll do for 300, but I'm thinking of, I don't know.
Monday Marshcast.
What is that? What are you saying? What is the Monday Marshcast?
It'll be that week's episode of the podcast.
Okay.
But we'll name it in your honor, and we'll have only you on there.
That is so depressing. I was thinking of doing a Five Nights at Freddy's gameplay. Because I've been enjoying that game a lot.
Oh joy, what a special occasion.
Oh joy, what a special occasion. Well, I don't know what to do for it. Like, I don't know, what would you do for a subscriber special? Because you don't really do them.
I have done like 2 or 3, and every time I tell the story of how the channel started, and
I feel like you do those on the yearly thing, not on a.
Do I? 1 sec. Let me do some research. Fill for me.
Well,
sing, Marshall, sing.
Hold me close and hold me fast. This magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose.
Okay, I need to ask you something about that. Which version did you base it on? Because one of the versions is La Vie en Rogue, which is French for red instead of rose.
I based it on La Vie en Rose. I've never heard of La Vie en Rogue. I just did the parts from the song that I liked.
Okay, then.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay, don't worry, it's alright. I've got an anniversary coming up soon on my channel. Maybe that's what I'll do the special for.
Anyway, I'm probably not going to do Five Nights at Freddy's, but I don't know, I'm trying to think of a game that would be fun to do, if I do a game for it, or, because last time I did Viscera Cleanup Simulator, and I thought that was a lot of fun, so I'm just thinking of doing another sort of fun game.
I remember when was the last time I did a special? It was a channel update video basically on zombies, and it was called 4 Years and Counting or something. And you're right, it was a yearly anniversary thing. Yeah,
you don't really do subscriber things. I don't know. I can't think of the last time you did a subscriber thing.
I remember I did one for 50.
You said you were going to do one for 69 back in the day. No.
I did a 100 subscribers takeaway.
What is that? Oh, okay, yeah.
That's where you leave a
comment. Where we sent you stuff.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's a giveaway. A takeaway is when you leave a comment on the video, you thumbs it up, you favorite it, and then I come to your house and I take one thing away from you.
That's terrible. And whoever commented the most gets robbed.
No, whoever commented the most gets murdered.
Whoa. Okay, it just took a dark turn, kiddies.
Turn down a dark alley.
Anyway, but what were we talking about just then before you took the dark turn?
Subscriber specials.
Yeah, so I don't know. If you have any ideas after the podcast, that'd be great, because I'm
you know what,
done.
I'm willing to put the Monday Marshcast out there as an idea. I feel like you're not too fond on it.
I just don't know, because would it just be us talking?
It could just be you. You could do a gameplay.
Okay.
Which reminds me, we need to add a new topic in, because I have an idea for where this podcast can go.
Okay. Do you want to add a new topic in?
Yeah, right after this. But are we still talking about our channels?
So I really think that so the channel, I've been uploading a lot more content, and I think I've been seeing generally a little bit of an increase in viewership. It's been decently good. And recently, the biggest thing that's changed is I had a guy approach me about creating a parody, and apparently he had this old channel that he wanted to, and I actually haven't announced this officially to my own
channel's doing well.
Main channel yet. I know if you've seen it. I haven't announced this my own main channel yet, but he came up to me and he wanted to do basically a parody channel, and he didn't have a main vocalist, so I said, well, I'll try it out. And so basically now, and then after that, I thought, well, if I'm doing that, I might as well have a channel for my own personal covers. And so now, which is funny because 2 weeks ago, if you asked me, are you ever going to have more than one channel? I would say, no, why would I do that? And so now I have three, one that's still the main channel, which will not change at all. Another that it's basically like a collab channel with this other guy. We're just making parodies, and so it's pretty simple. You don't have to go to it. I mean, yes, yeah, you have to. And then, but the one I'm really excited about is I just am making a parody. A covers channel where I just the next one I'll be making is, since I did a parody of Mad World on the parody channel, I thought I'd make a cover of it on my channel and try to get some people from that channel to come over. So the next one I'll be doing is Mad World. I'm also currently working on the biggest project I'm working on right now is a 4-part quartet harmony of the song "Hooked on a Feeling" by Blue Suede, and it's a very difficult project. I even have sheet music for it. Like, this is all out. So I'm hoping I'm really taking my time on this one. I really want to make it into a very interesting, a really good quartet cover, and I really hope when that's made that you guys enjoy that. So definitely, if any of you happen to be a fan of mine or you check out my channel, definitely give one of these other channels a look. There's links on my channel to them. Anyway, but that's basically all that's been going on my channel. It's been a lot of change lately. Yeah.
Make sure you send me those links to all those channels after the podcast finish. I can put them in the description to all three.
Okay, I will.
I needed to go back to a previous topic we didn't finish. Thumbnails on the stream archives. Not only have you got live stream in the title, but I think you can put Twitch in the thumbnail, so that it's obvious. But just to have videos on your channel with no thumbnail just looks really unprofessional.
I don't think it does. I mean, okay, I've just looked at I've seen a lot of channels over the years that don't have thumbnails, and they make good content, and they have plenty of viewers. I don't know if thumbnails are, at the end of the day, the be-all, end-all for a successful channel.
I'm saying I look at the list of your videos, and they stand out like a sore thumb. I'm not talking about numbers, I'm not talking about content inside, I'm talking about they look dreadful.
Okay. Anyway, that's all from me. But do you have anything else before we move on?
Make some thumbnails.
I said I'll think about it. Are we gonna move on?
Nah, I want at least one of them uploaded before we continue this podcast.
You want me to upload something?
No, I want you to upload one of the thumbnails before we continue.
Before we continue. I don't have a thumbnail created yet.
Yeah. Come on then.
I'm not gonna create a thumbnail right now.
Alright, fine.
I'll make a thumbnail.
I'm kidding. Make sure you get something for that.
We're recording a podcast, so let's...
And I'm taking you to task on this podcast. It's what the podcast is all about.
I think the podcast is about talking.
Are we not talking?
Well, you're kind of like, making it awkward. Now we're not talking, now I'm making a picture. I won't be able to talk because I'll be too busy making a picture.
I was just kidding.
Well, now I'm making a picture. It's happening. 1920 by 1080. Do you make yours now? Do you make your pictures 1080, or do you make them the 1900 by 1200?
Mine are 100 by 200.
They look really good for that pixel.
I'd make some changes.
Yeah, you just highlight them, and it's beautiful.
I zoom in.
You zoom in.
No, yeah, I make them 1080.
Okay, yeah, I do too. Because
I made them 720 before, but yeah.
Well, no. I know there's a lot of pictures are 1900 by 1200. So instead of 1900 by 1080. That's all I was saying. Like, I don't know which one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an actual picture resolution I see a lot.
I see a lot of 1280 by 1024. That's a square aspect ratio I see on a lot of my school computers. But no, I do 1080 for the thumbnails because it fits, and so I've continued to do it. 16 by 9 aspect ratio. I think what you're talking about just now is a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. But 16 by 9 aspect ratio fits the picture quite well, so that's what I tend to do. I like thumbnails. I take a lot of pride in my thumbnails.
Yeah, I mean, I think thumbnails are something that, like, you need. It's one of those things that you need to learn when you're going into YouTube, because you need to learn how to make them at least somewhat good, you know?
Yeah.
And it's something, I think it's something you'll learn pretty quickly from experience, you know?
Well, you make some stuff. Yeah, you make a certain level of thumbnails from experience, but you know, you've picked it up really quickly. But for me, it took like years to actually make something I really think is like good. But then again, I didn't have them for yeah, I'm that old on YouTube. We didn't have thumbnails for a year or two into my YouTube career.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing. Guess what? When I started on YouTube, you could only upload a video that was 9 minutes and 59 seconds long.
That's a really random number, too.
I was excited when it got up to 15 minutes.
That's a weird number, though. Why is it that number?
It was they told us 10 minutes, but usually it ended up being a second under.
Or
it was 11 something. I can't remember. It was something like 11 minutes or something. But yeah, I got excited when it was up to 15 minutes, and then now I upload 2-hour-long podcasts on YouTube. So, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna write on all of the stream thumbnails inspired by Putty.
You don't actually have to make a thumbnail.
It's already happened.
I want you to make a thumbnail, but you don't have to make it right now.
It's too late. Anyway, so what was the topic? You said you wanted to change one of the topics.
So
we were gonna talk about. We were gonna have a console argument, but would you like to replace that?
No. I just want to talk about this for 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
We can still have our rest of our topics. We still have another topic before the console arguments too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What? No. Oh yeah, we do. Never mind. We do. Yeah, I have a little arrow that's pointing to it. Yeah. Okay.
So, I thought about this podcast, and I thought about how we could make it in some way a little bit more interesting to look at. Because right now you're just looking at a thumbnail, which I take pride in, but it's not. I don't spend too long on these thumbnails, but what I was thinking is I was watching another podcast that was because I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter this week, and I was thinking perhaps we could play a game every week on the podcast.
Okay.
A mindless game.
See, I have a different idea, but I would always
a killing floor.
No. I don't. Oh, that's what you're saying. Yeah. That could be a game we could do. That seems to be like that seems to be like the official collaboration video game of our two channels. Like.
Yes, although I think we have done more Fallout in-game videos together. Although maybe it's close.
What? Sorry, what?
I think we've done more videos together in Fallout. Although I think it might be close.
Yeah, probably. We've definitely done a lot more videos about Fallout.
Fallout, but not in-game. In-game, it's a lot closer.
Anyway, my thing, I've always thought something that would make the podcast more professional and seem a little more friendly would be to have both of us on camera. But I know you may not like that.
I'm okay with that. But I
feel like we should. You don't think it's as interesting? I think if you're talking just between two people, then it makes sense to have both of the people in the camera. You know.
I mean, at the point, like I feel like at that point it's still just a podcast.
It is a podcast, though.
So yeah. But like, if we had the video game there, listen.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
Yeah, I will.
If we had the video game there, it's also some sort of collab video project. Whereas if you're just talking, you're still just talking. So what's the point of actually having any video at all? I don't see faces as interesting at all.
Well, I mean, I think it's here's just the same argument you made about professionalism. I just think it's more professional looking. And I personally like seeing people's faces when they're talking. I think it gives it a more human aspect, a more warm aspect. Then again, here's the thing. I do think it makes more sense if we were both in the same room and it was sort of like that. And since we're not, that is a little bit weird that we're both just sort of in different rooms
On the
with our
camera.
faces. So, I mean, with your gaming idea, the problem with that is I feel like in a podcast, people aren't looking at the gameplay. Like,
But they don't have to. That's why we play mindless games, so that we're still recording a podcast. We're not actually going to be hopefully. Like, the aim is that we won't talk about the game at all.
well, that's what I think that's what I originally thought this would be when we first started doing them. I don't know if I brought it up to you. I might not have, but
Go.
yeah. I mean, no, that's all. That's all that
What
I'm.
did you think it was going to be?
I thought that it was originally just going to be us playing games while talking.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done podcast style zombies videos.
And podcast styles like Minecraft videos. Like I just uploaded
Yeah.
4 parts of us cutting down trees
Yeah.
and just talking. Like that is basically a really long podcast.
I bet they didn't have thumbnails.
They did
I thought you didn't want to put thumbnails on shit
on
content.
Minecraft. I thought it's great content. I really enjoy watching those parts where we're just talking. I mean,
Watching or listening?
watching.
You enjoyed watching people cut down trees.
Well, I enjoy watching and listening. Hey man, I'm just saying I do. You don't have to agree.
Did the tree cutting trigger your ASMR? Is that
No,
what you
it
enjoyed?
No, I enjoyed listening to us talk. We have good conversations.
I'm gonna send you a lumberjack video. And,
Okay. You can.
I feel like that's something you're into.
It's not.
Are you sure?
You're more into it because you're the king of the lumber district.
Hey, you want to remove me at every step. I think it's so you can take over. And just
Actually, recently I'm fine with
all
you.
day long.
Hey, now we have a replacement for you. No,
I haven't been lumbering a lot lately.
you have been, or you haven't been.
Nah. I've
Nah.
been popping on to have a look around.
I haven't been on very recently. No, I mean I haven't been on a lot recently. I've been so split up, and I probably should be more because we have so many new people on now. I feel like it should be like a part of me wants to be on there 24/7 to watch them.
I haven't been on because I've been hunting monsters. So.
Oh yeah, I gotta hunt those
Gotta
monsters.
hunt those monsters. I also like
Damn
half
monsters.
of Shadow Warrior yesterday.
Wow.
Because I started it yesterday and I think I'm about halfway through.
Well, yeah, it's a great game, but so you want to do video games for these podcasts from now
Well,
on?
it's on the table.
It's an idea. We'll have to discuss it. I think we should do a trial.
Table.
Oh, I think we should do a trial for it. Like a dry run, you know?
A try run, yeah. We're going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
try.
Just to see, because I don't know. I feel like a part of me won't be able to talk very well while I'm playing video games, as you know.
You don't talk very well. Anyway.
I'm a very one focused person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think we could try it. Would you do it on what kind of games would you like to do it on? Like besides Killing Floor and I mean COD Zombies. I feel like it would just be a lot of COD
zombies. Yeah. Viscera Cleanup Data.
Hey, that is actually a really good game to do it on because you know it's just a lot of good hard work. Like we're just janitors, you know, doing our honest day's work,
I
talking.
feel like Civ and EU can be very mindless.
For me, I think about what I'm doing in those games.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd go into these games with the intention of it being mindless. You'd play like France and Spain.
Oh, okay. I think I don't know. I think it'd be more interesting. I think
Civ definitely.
I think strategy games are the kind of games where if it's the gameplay that you're watching, you should be focused on a strategy game. Like, I just think the kind of games you were listing before are perfect if you're doing it mindless. But for me, I'm not going to get anything out of watching it if it's a mindless gameplay of strategy. You know what I mean? Because strategy game in its very concept is something you strategize, you think about.
The reason for me personally that COD Zombies and Killing Floor to a lesser extent, COD Zombies definitely, is mindless is because I have a strategy, but it's just instinct now. It's the same with Civ. I have a strategy, but now it's just instinct. You set the cities here, here, and here, and you march here, here, and here. And
The maps are all different.
No, but you always start in grass. You get a city there. You get a city on the coast, and you get a city further inland. You get a city next to your enemies. Boom, you're done. 100 years of waiting for shit to happen.
See, I don't play Civ enough to have like a detailed strategy down. Anyway, I definitely like the Viscera cleanup detail idea, but
I understand the EU point, but Civ really is. Like, especially if we played on, like, the lowest difficulty. Like, just mindless. Like, you can do whatever you want. At least as I remember it. I haven't played it in a couple of years.
yeah.
About a year, roughly. So yeah, but Civ is mindless, so we could definitely do that, in my opinion. But we'd have to try out things like that. Um, we, we could
We're definitely gonna do this viscera cleanup thing now that you're talking about it. Anyway,
we can do it tonight if you want.
yeah, hey. So yeah, let's is that all you want to talk about for the gaming thing?
I think so.
Okay.
Before we move on to our first topics, I just want to know if you've been playing any new games this week. If you want to talk about them.
I've been playing a shit ton of Crusader Kings 2. And it's a game where Crusader Kings 2 is a game where I bought it way before I got Europa because I watched someone's series of it and I thought it was really cool looking, and I'd never heard of Paradox games until I watched the series. And so I bought it and I got into it, and it was so confusing and I didn't do well, and I ended up getting scared away from it. And then I eventually got Europa because of you and other friends who started playing it, and I got it and I got into it and I learned it. It seemed a little more intuitive than Crusader Kings because it was a little more similar to the strategy games I was used to, like Total War. Not exactly, but it was a little more like centralized government, basically. Like the government in Crusader Kings is not centralized, and those sorts of things are very confusing in Crusader Kings. But in Europa, it's just a little bit closer to what I was used to, so I was able. It wasn't as big as of a learning curve. And going from Europa to Crusader Kings, now I find myself playing Crusader Kings and enjoying it a lot because I understand more of the concepts, and I've really over the past week just dived into the game, and I know so much more about it in this week than I did a year ago. And it's just what were you saying?
Those two EU and Civ and Crusader Kings are probably the two most similar out of Paradox's grand strategy. Like
Victoria's crazy.
Yeah, Vicky 2 is so much different.
I got Vicky 2. I got Vicky 2 thinking I would try it, and I still am not giving up on it, but it's really hard. It's so hard.
I'm gonna jump into it one of these days.
It's so hard.
How do I have Trine? Oh yeah, now I remember. Ooh, sorry.
But yeah, but yeah, I think I've been getting a lot into Crusader Kings over the past week. I've been playing with some friends I haven't played with in a long time, so that's good. That's pretty much all I've been playing this week.
Crusader Kings.
Yeah, literally, that's it. Before that, I got into Saints Row 3rd, which I've had in my library for a while. I'm eventually going to move on to the 4th because I also have that. I bought them all in a pack like a year ago, and I buy these games and I end up not getting around to them for like a year. Yeah. And I finally got to Sims Row the 3rd, and it's a lot of fun.
Sims Row.
Oh, I say Sims Row. Did I say that twice?
I think you said it first. That's
Saints Row the 3rd. It's a ton of fun. Very goofy. The story's very funny, and the gameplay is hilarious. Like it's just I don't know. I've played GTA, and I think so far I like Saints Row more than GTA. But I haven't played the newest GTA, so I don't know.
I just want a Sims Row.
Yeah. Did I say Sims Row again?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just want the Sims Row.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Just a thug Sims life.
Yeah, an EA Sims.
Well, they made a medieval version of Sims. They should make a thug version of Sims. Anyway.
You're in like Prohibition.
So yeah, the original gangsters. Yeah, that'd be cool. Running
for shit like that. Like Saints Row, I don't think have done that yet, have they?
Prohibition era? No. No, it's all Saints Row is all modern.
I know Mafia 3 is doing that next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
that's always an interesting thing for movies, and games haven't really dived into it yet.
Far yet, yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing. What about you? Besides Monster Hunter?
Well, I've been playing Monster Hunter. Just a little bit, I've only got 30 hours in the game, and I got it on Monday. It's not like I've been playing it that much. Yeah.
You're not crazy.
No, I haven't even reached high rank yet. That's how sad that is.
Depressing.
I know.
You piece of shit.
Hey, I farmed the Gore Magala today for like 2 hours, and I still don't have his armor.
So do you like that? Do you like it all?
It took a while for me to like warm to it, because before this one, I don't think I've ever gone into a Monster Hunter game with as much experience as I did going into this one. Like, when I got into 3 Ultimate, I had played Monster Hunter, but I wasn't, like, I hadn't even finished the game before then, right? I hadn't even, like, finished the single player. But in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, I went through the single player, I went through the extra stuff you can do after the game's finished in single player, I went through the multiplayer, I went all the way up the Hunter ranks, I fought the Gold and Silver Rathian and Rathalos, I fought the hidden secret boss, I'm not great at Monster Hunter, but I mastered my class, and I fought everything there was to fight. So when I went into this one, I was, expecting shit tons because I was so experienced at it, whereas when I went to the last one, I didn't know what to expect. But the reason why I say that is because I went in this one and I thought straight away, this is a lot like 3 Ultimate. It's not, they haven't changed that much in the feeling. But to be honest, like, that's how every Monster Hunter is. They just add on, and the more I got into it, the more new monsters I saw, the more returning monsters that I'd never fought from, like, the PlayStation 2 games. And the different areas and the new weapons. The game still looks like crap. It's still, I swear to you, it looks worse than 3. I swear to you, it does. But it's fun. It really is. The new weapon is really cool. I'm maining Insect Glaive because it's new, and I thought I'd try it out. And it's cool. It's fun. You get to jump around. You get to pogo stick onto the back of a monster and then stab him in the back. That's freaking awesome. And I have a pet insect that stays on my arm and kills things for me. It's it's fun.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to getting my teeth into it properly and getting up into the high ranks and fighting Daran Moran, my old friend Jen's cousin. I miss Jen. I know Daran's the same, but Jen was fatter, he was chubbier, he was cuter. Jen was cute. I don't care. But yeah, the game's fun. I've also been playing Shadow Warrior.
Yeah, as you said, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't talk about it that much.
That's a game I dove into probably. I think I actually talked about it in a podcast about a month ago, maybe, or 2 months ago. I don't know, but I remember talking about it on a video. And yeah, no, it's you like it? It's a really good game.
Yeah, first of all, it's beautiful. Really good looking.
The graphics, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of the best I've played, actually.
Wow, of all games? Or just in the Unreal Engine?
No, of all games, it's really good looking.
To me, it looks just very Unreal, like Unreal version E graphics.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean, definitely. Unreal games are struggling to come to my mind. Could you list a few of the prominent ones?
BioShock Infinite.
It looks, yeah, it does look
Which
like
the
that.
art department in BioShock Infinite was just superb. Like, I don't know, a lot of viscera cleanup detail.
I like the dingier style of Shadow Warrior.
I can't think of Unreal games right now, but there's so many. Like,
I
it's
know.
such a common engine.
But, Shadow Warrior is so colorful, and it's got this deep, this dark. I love Japan, so or Asia, wherever it is. Is it China or is it Japan?
It's Japan, definitely Japan. Because samurai swords are more Japanese.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. So, yeah, I love Japan. So when the atmosphere is quite nice, and when I went into Sleeping Dogs with all the Asian themes and thematics there, it kind of like acted as a barricade for me. I couldn't quite connect with a lot of the characters because of that. But when it comes to Sleeping Dogs, when it comes to Shadow Warrior, you don't really need to connect to the characters. The gameplay is just so visceral.
Yeah, I think that's a huge difference between like modern shooters and classic shooters like Shadow Warrior. Is that modern shooters try to make the gameplay realistic. Well, they fail, but they try to make it somewhat realistic, and they try to make the story passionate and sort of sad at times. And old shooters, they don't give a shit about that. They make the story and the gameplay how they want to make it. The colors in old shooters versus modern shooters are brighter, like you said, much brighter, more unrealistic, more fun.
This is a dark, dingy game, and
in modern shooters, they just have a ton, like
brown.
1,000 shades of green,
Yeah.
And brown and whatever. And in old shooters, there's just so much more color.
Right.
The characters themselves are so much are very colorful. And the enemies are just a shit ton of fun to hack up. Like, you don't feel guilty for killing the enemies in Shadow Warrior at all, because
Humans sometimes.
To me, it's a guilt-free game. Oh, I guess you do have to fight humans. Yeah, but the thing is, the game is so ridiculous that you don't even feel like the humans are real. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like that, but then sometimes I see the cops and I'm like, I wish I could like sneak past these guys.
You can just sprint to the end.
I thought you had to kill everyone before certain doors opened.
Not necessarily. A lot of the doors open because you break open certain things, but I don't think you necessarily have.
I mean, like certain like you know how the doors will light up when you can open them.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. A lot of them probably only open until.
I haven't tested it, but it just seemed to me like I had to kill everyone.
Anyway, the gameplay. One of my favorite things about Shadow Warriors. Most games nowadays, when you start out with a melee weapon, your melee weapon is like your shittiest weapon, like arguably, like it does the least damage, like your guns are it. But in that game, you start out with a samurai sword and you end with a samurai sword in your hand because it is great at killing things. The guns are good at killing things, yeah, but at the end of the day, if you want to kill a lot of aliens, you pull out that baby and you slice their heads off, you know? I mean,
aliens, really?
Oh, sorry, not aliens. They're more they're like Japanese demons. I say aliens because classic shooter, but no, I guess Doom is demons too. So there's lots of demons in classic shooters. But yeah, no, they're demons. So the sword is such an effective weapon. It doesn't downplay the sword in exchange for gunplay, and that's what makes the game so such a rare treat.
A lot of the character progression is based on the sword as well. A lot of the abilities you get are used with.
The sword. The character. Oh yeah, the leveling up system in that game's a lot of fun too. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Everything you get, you use, and it's very
and everything's hands-on. Themed. It's a great game just to like have a great time playing. Just to have a good old time.
You talked about the story, and I as much as I like, it's not like the best story in the world or anything. It's not a masterpiece. I'm really interested in it because of the demon, the character that you merge with.
The character that's following you, yeah.
Yeah. He's funny. He's a bit of a douche, but he's a lot less of a dick than
well, that's
character.
What's great about him because your character's a douche, and I feel like he's perfect for you. Like you're meant to be with him because he's the douchiest demon there is, and he's your friend, So that's what's great about the story.
I like the part where he says something. He's like, "Oh, is it just me, or are you actually enjoying this?" And he says, "You gotta take pride in what you do." And then the demon says, "Wow, you put the ass in mass murder." It's like, yeah, you're right. I like that demon, and I want to find out some things about him. And I mean, it's intriguing, and if the ending's good, I'm gonna really like this game.
Yeah, I think actually you're making me want to play it right now. It's not. Yeah, it's a genuinely great game. I think another thing is it's calling back to a time where shooters were not about multiplayer. They were about single player. And if you wanted multiplayer, then you should I don't know.
You just reminded me of something.
Then you should fuck off.
Okay, sorry.
No, not you. No, I mean people who. Like if you wanted it back then, if you wanted multiplayer, too bad. You need to enjoy the game.
Yeah. Well, what this has done for me is it's got me very much excited about modern shoot.
My microphone just exploded in my ears. I really need to get this record replaced. That was the scariest thing ever. It just made this really loud static noise, like. Brrr. Oh God! Have you ever had that happen to you? Oh, no. Oh my God! My heart just jumped out of my chest. Okay.
You now have a bunch of background noise.
I do?
A little bit. What's going away? Okay, we can keep going, can't we?
Okay, yeah. So what are you saying?
This game has made me excited about classic shooter-style modern shooters, and I can't wait to get my hands on Wolfenstein.
Great! Hey, I'm excited about that. Then I'm excited you're enjoying it because Wolfenstein's genuinely like that. Also, Wolfenstein does good with a really good story. That
I know. Yeah.
Like its story is not just a joke. Its story is really interesting.
Are you telling me Shadow Warriors doesn't end up being really interesting with the
it is interesting, but at the same time, the story is very jokey.
The story's jokey, but then it's got a lot of entrenchment in a lot of Asian mythology, and it's really cool. It is it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's got a shit ton to take seriously.
And the main character is almost relatable to you. He's not like some bad.
Yeah.
Because he's a little bit badass, but at the same time he's a nerd. Like he collects comics, and he likes shooting things. Like he plays video games, obviously.
Yeah. When you enter his cave, you see his row of comic books and his arcade machines, and the demon goes, "Of all the hitmen in Japan, I had to get stuck with the nerd. Where do you keep your porn?" And then the character replies, "This is my porn." And then he shaves his head. and this is unearned, but it's just it's so it's good. It's a really good experience. It's fun. It's fun, and that's
Good time.
all it needs to be, really. But what you
And
reminded
it's
me
not
of,
expensive. It's not a very even
I
at full
picked it up
price.
for-
I think it's only
yeah.
$20.
I picked it up for £2.99.
Hey, great. But yeah, but even at full price, it's only $20, which in my idea, even $20 is a worthy price for that game. It's a good time. You'll get plenty of hours out of it, and it's a game that you probably will want to replay again.
Yeah, I'd say it's for me it's a £10 game. That's what I'd estimate it as. It's a good at least 10 hours of quality fun. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is probably about $20, like less, but a little bit. You know, what you reminded me of just now was not only have I played one of the best single player shooters of the last couple of years, this week I've also played one of the best, if not the best, multiplayer shooters of the last few years. Take a guess at what it is?
This week you did.
Yeah.
Arma? I don't know.
Eh,
Multiplayer. I don't know. What is it?
Planet Side 2.
Oh, that's right. We've played that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been playing it this week, and it's got a lot better. I also somehow got a lot better at it despite being a noob, and it's really cool. It's really fun. Again, the feel of the game. What's the word? I guess the general just feel of the game is really good. The spacey sci-fi atmosphere of it just really gets you entrenched. A lot of role play there, even internally. Nowadays, you get a lot of when you join a squad just randomly, you get a lot of squad leaders that know what the fuck they're doing, which is great because they'll be like, "All right, we're gonna lose this point if we don't get everyone there." So you'll end up showing up. There's like 90 people, and you're just one of the 90 storming the base, and it's really fun. It's great. It is the best multiplayer shooter I've played. I just need to get enough friends into it to play a proper game.
Well, okay. Next time you're playing that sounds like a lot of fun. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've recently gotten tired of Payday. Like I don't know, the gameplay to me is it gets old fast.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's why I'm not gonna lie. That's why I left early yesterday. I was just like,
God.
I'm not having that much fun.
We're about to do Shadow Raid.
I know. I don't think Shadow Raid's that fun. I
don't think you've ever completed it.
I have. I've completed it like 3 times with you guys.
3
anyway.
times, you're still a noob.
Okay, I'm sorry, but it's just the game is not getting that much more fun for me. So I think it's one of those games I'll get out every once in a while to play, but I don't know. I think PlanetSide 2 is one of those games where I could probably dig my teeth into for quite a while.
I mean, you like Battlefield.
Yeah, I like Battlefield, and PlanetSide 2 is a great teamwork game, and it's
very much so, yeah.
So, like I was saying, what was I saying? No,
we were just going through games I played.
Yeah.
That we've played this week. And
would you like to move on?
I think that is it. Yeah, Shadow Warrior I played, great game. Monster Hunter, really great game. PlanetSide, great game. I think that is all I've played this week. I played FM for a little bit, but not much. I've been ill, so I haven't played that much.
So, what would you say? Next, we're moving on to talking about E3 Fallout.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh shit. So, I mean, what do you think about this? I mean, I'll let you lead this topic because I think you know a little more about it than me. But
I haven't gone in detail. All I know is that Bethesda, for the first time, have booked out a conference at E3, a whole conference. You know, like EA and Microsoft and Sony do their conferences up on the big stage with a huge crowd.
Yeah.
Cheer for everything. Hey guys, FIFA is going to be an Xbox exclusive. All the journalists go, yay! Yeah. So Bethesda have booked one of them, and not only is it screwed up the E3 calendar for everyone everywhere because it's a day before conferences are set to start, so everyone's got to get there a day early. It's also the first time they've ever done it. So done a conference. So a big announcement is expected. And on the rotation, of Elder Scrolls Fallout, it looks like it might well be Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think it's. I think it's interesting because those conferences, for anyone who doesn't know, renting out one of those, even renting out a tiny booth that people walk by at E3 costs like $50,000. Okay, or not that much, but it costs money.
Well, the conferences are a big deal.
It costs money, but if you want to rent out one of those conferences, a dedicated time and a place where everyone sits down and listens to you for a while, that costs. I don't know how much,
Millions.
Probably, yeah, somewhere around $3 million, I would assume. It is a lot. E3 has become so saturated with cash from all the large gaming companies. I mean, money is exponentially flowing into the gaming industry. So I think, I think it's a good thing. Games are always good, though. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily always a good thing that money's flowing in at a high rate of speed into the gaming industry, but Bethesda is becoming is I think becoming a really big publisher, and I think they've finally decided, fuck it, we need to be a big publisher and buy out the big tables, you know?
Yeah, because like the thing about this conference is you look at the names they're sharing with. I'm pretty sure it is only Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, and EA.
EA, maybe Activision, but probably not.
Oh yeah, Activision do it. Yeah,
Activision do it? Okay, I just don't know what games they're going to talk about. They don't really make games.
Hey guys, we're making Guitar Hero 7. All the journalists go, yay!
Yay!
We don't care.
We ain't caught up with you. Okay, anyway, but so yeah,
Activision will announce the next Call of Duty game. Hey guys, there's a Call of Duty game coming out in November. If you didn't know, if you weren't aware,
they don't even need to spend money on that. That's a waste of money at this point. Announcing their games.
Though.
Didn't they announce the last one on Twitter?
Yes, but they did do it at E3 as well.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think
this year is a Treyarch game. I think.
Oh, okay.
So I'm buying it this year.
Okay.
We're back on the Call of Duty wagon, guys.
I won't buy it unless I didn't buy the last.
I haven't bought any since Black Ops 2 because I only buy Treyarch.
I haven't bought a lot, but I haven't bought Black Ops 2 either.
No, I did buy Black Ops 2.
I'm saying I didn't, but I know I said either. That was weird. But I'm probably not gonna buy it unless it's like the cool shit, the south of Mississippi. But
this is like, I'm not gonna convince you to buy it because it's probably not gonna be worth the money. But I will issue a promise that if you buy it, we will play zombies.
That's the thing. I just don't know if the zombies is gonna be good enough to play. Like, I enjoy Black Ops 1 zombies.
Black Ops 2 was a step away from form for Treyarch, and it was still good to me, so I think this should be alright. If they get back on form, it's going to be awesome. If they don't, I still think it'll be fine.
Anyway, but that's back to Fallout 3 at E3. Fallout 4 at E3. I don't know why they didn't announce Fallout 3 there. It would have been punny. No, but past releases of Fallout, they've announced at I believe, the Tokyo Gamescom conference. Or what's it called?
It was rumored that they were going to announce it at the Tokyo Gamescom this year.
I believe they've done that in the past.
Did you not do the research? You promised me you'd do research.
I'm sorry, I didn't. That was my fault. But no, but I'm pretty sure that's where they've announced it in the past. So I think they've never.
Not both of them, right?
You know, I'll look at it, but yeah, I think so. But while I'm looking, why don't you talk about I don't know.
Okay, so one of the I think they've had two big Elder Scrolls releases since the last Fallout one, and I'm pretty sure they consider Elder Scrolls 6 to be the Elder Scrolls game released last year. So I would not be surprised if Fallout 4 is in the works, as we've talked about on this podcast before, and I think it's going to be announced at E3 this year. I just have a feeling. If it's not announced by the end of 2015, that's gonna make me worry, man.
Wait, what's gonna make you worry? Sorry, what?
If Fallout 4 isn't announced by the end of 2015, to be at least in the works, because they haven't officially announced that yet.
Maybe they just stopped.
I remember when they first got the licensing rights, it was for 3 games, but now they have as many as they want, so they have time. But I have a thing where I'm okay with you not releasing a new game if the hardware hasn't progressed enough for it to be a whole new game. But it has. You go back and you play either of the 2 Bethesda Fallout games now, and you go and you play a modern game, or even a modern Bethesda game, and you can tell that Bethesda have the technology to make a better Fallout game, at least on a objective standpoint, from a technical standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm ready for a new Fallout game. I feel like now is the time.
Yeah, and I think they definitely have the tech for it. What do you think? Do you think they're going to? I've heard different responses on this. Do you think they're going to repurpose the creative engine or create a new one?
Is the creative engine the Skyrim one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've actually heard some people. I've always thought they would just repurpose it because the creative engine's fairly. I don't know. I just thought they would. But so I've heard a lot of people saying maybe they won't because it has been 4 years since the creative engine. So I mean, they sat on the Game Bro engine for a while, and that's why I think they'll just repurpose it.
You can do wonderful things with an old engine.
You can, and because of how long they use the Game Bro engine, I'm just assuming they'll just repurpose it. Do you think they will?
So Oblivion was on the Game Bro engine, so yes, I do believe they will repurpose it. Yeah, I think it'll be the creative engine, which is fine.
As long as they, I think they repurposed it just fine from Oblivion to Fallout. I think the engine was completely different, not completely different, but yeah. Plenty different. Obviously, a lot of the engine mechanics as far as physics weren't, but
it was very much updated.
It was very much updated. So I think they'll be fine at updating it to Fallout and making it a Fallout engine, not a Skyrim engine.
Yeah, the 2 years in between Oblivion and Fallout 3 are staggering when you look at the graphics.
Yeah, really it is, and at the UI and how. And just how everything works in that game.
The UI is similar, but
to Oblivion, like
feeling. Yeah.
I don't know about that. I've never thought Oblivion's UI felt like Fallout at all. But
I get the same feeling playing the games personally.
I get completely different feelings. I'm not gonna lie. To me, Oblivion's a very different game as far as just everything. But I mean, I can definitely feel the mechanical components being there, like the bare bones are definitely the same.
I'm not saying it feels like the Mojave Wasteland. I'm just saying, the UI and the way the character moves, it just
part. Yeah, the physics feel the same, definitely. And the sensitivity of one, the mouse sensitivity of one moving at like a mile an hour to the right or left. That's probably going to be in Fallout 4.
I always pump my mouse sensitivity up anyway. I've never had a problem with that.
Oh man, dude! Even on PC it's fine because I have I have DPI settings, but on the console, man, it's rough. Even at max.
On the console, you don't get mouse sensitivity though. You said mouse sensitivity.
I know. That's why it's fine on the PC, but on the console, man.
You said the mouse sensitivity was low when you were talking about it. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, the sensitivity is low. So on the console, man, it's rough. Like even at max sensitivity on the console, the controller turns at like ridiculously low levels.
But why would you play it on a console?
Lots of people do. I'm just saying that's probably still gonna be there.
Sure.
Yeah, that's all I have to say really about Fallout 3 being announced. Fallout 4 being announced at E3. Because
didn't say anything about it.
It's all speculation.
Speculate then. You didn't really say anything about it.
I think you said everything that needed to be said. I did say things about Tokyo Game. Look, I think
I want you to speculate about whether they will.
Okay. I think they probably will. If they rented out an entire conference, and considering how long it's been and the hype has been building immensely. So I mean they'll be cashing in on a lot of hype at this conference.
Do you feel the hype is over a hump though? Do you feel like the hype suffaced about 2 years ago? Because for me personally, or about a year ago maybe, because for me personally, it's not as high as it has been in the past.
You're right. Actually, you're probably right. Like I do feel like they made a lot more videos about it, 2 years ago or 1 year ago.
Yeah. So
in 2013, there were a lot of Fallout 4 videos, and now there's really not that many new Fallout 4 videos, and they're really, and I feel like there's been a lot less Fallout 4 hoaxes, a lot less Fallout 4 shit that's been happening. Like we used to have all this stuff that was going on and tricks, and now I feel like it's not happening, which is good because I think that means we're getting closer to it actually being released.
Perhaps,
But yeah, you're probably right. The hype isn't as big as it was, but I still think it's big enough to where when they release it, the hype will jump straight back.
Oh, the hype will jump, yeah, the hype will jump. And I mean, they've got ways. They've got their ways. They've
got their advertising money.
Yeah.
The Bethesda marketing team could do anything.
I'm actually looking forward to the advertising, as sad as that sounds and how fanboy that sounds. I'm actually looking forward to seeing trailers for this thing.
The trailers for Fallout 3 in New Vegas were really good. So yeah, I mean, it should be interesting.
Remember the Eddie one?
Yeah, that was to me that was super weird and super like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. Like,
I think that's my favorite trailer. The Dead Island one was really good. Do you remember that one?
Dead Island to me is I think they won an award for that. They did.
Yes.
They did win an award for it. That's probably the best trailer of all time.
Was it the Pull the Wool Over Your Eyes award?
No, I'm talking about the actual.
Here's a game that we're not gonna give you award.
I think at the Spike isn't the Spike Game Awards like the most official Game Awards thing?
Probably, yeah, but the most official Game Awards is like the prettiest. No, never.
Anyway, at that one they gave it I think they gave it the best trailer of the year when it came out.
It is a great trailer.
And to me, it's probably still one of the best ever. Like it was really good. You're right. It totally misled you as to what the gameplay would be and what the story would be. like totally. I in a way, trailers like that totally fuck with your head because none of those characters exist in the game.
Yeah.
So, and it's not about what.
Fair play to them though. I like those guys should get hired to advertise for something that's actually good.
Yeah.
They do wonderful
It's still,
things.
I don't know, like it's still a fun game. Like
Yeah.
I just feel that they advertised because of how they advertised for it. That's why people didn't like it.
That's a trailer that belongs to a masterpiece. And Dead Island could have been marketed as a fun, just mindless shooter, zombies, melee thing. Fine, but don't advertise it like that. It looks like we're about to go into a David Cage game.
Yeah, and it's really sad.
This isn't Heavy Rain Zombies. Okay?
To me, one of the best set of trailers, because I think they had a couple, was for Gears of War 3. And I didn't see them until after I played Gears of War 3, so I think that's why I like them even more. But, they were so just introspective of the game series as a whole, and those were some really good trailers. But yeah, that's I'm definitely thinking they're going to announce it in June, right? Is it June?
I think it's June.
Anyway, if they do, I'll be very happy. Hopefully they'll have. I don't know if they'll have a full trailer, but they might have like a little teaser trailer. If they announce it, and I'm hoping if they announce it, it will be ready to be released in 2016.
It's June.
What? I'm sorry. Did you say when you think they'll release it if they announce it?
I didn't. If the thing is, common games practices for big companies tends to be if they announce a game at E3 in June, it's going to come out in September, October, or November. But I just don't think that's going to happen here. So if I honestly had to estimate, September, October, November 2016. I think those are the months they'd release them. I
think they could. I think if they've really been working on it this whole time, they could put it on the shelves at the end of 2015. But that's the thing. We don't know how long they've been working on it. So if they have been working on it since the end of Skyrim, then they could definitely put it on the shelves. But if they haven't, if we don't see any gameplay at the announce, then we probably know it's not going to come out until 2016.
If on June the 15th they say this Fallout 4 will be released in November 2016, I'll be pretty damn happy. Because that's another year.
Yeah, it'll be. Hey, that's another year to make my Fallout 3 Let's Play before it comes out.
It's another year to make Fallout 4 as best as it can be.
And
also, no excuses for it coming out buggy.
I'm not gonna lie, it's
no excuses if they have until 2016 November.
Well, you can give them no excuses, but
I will give them none.
You give them nothing, they'll take a mile. Bethesda's like, what are you doing? No, shh, they'll just quiet you down.
Wait, have you seen the
marketing?
The lineup for E3?
No.
Everyone is there. One sec. Let me get to the upper names before I start listing this out.
Okay. Send me the site, by the way, wherever you're seeing this.
E3expo.com.
Okay, I'll have to look.
So Activision, Squeenix, Turtle Beach, Techland, GameChurch.com, Razer, PlayStation, Machinima.
Razer? Wait, you mean the keyboard and
and
utilities?
Yep. Warner Brothers, Ubisoft, Nintendo, Sega, Microsoft, Nvidia, Deep Silver, who made
Dead Island, and they've been making a lot of
Namco Bandai Games. Woohoo! My boys. Capcom, EA, IGN, Bethesda Softworks. ZeniMax Media Company. Crytek, Alienware, Curse. That looks like the Game Station. No, that doesn't exist anymore. What am I saying? I don't know what that is then.
I cannot
Oculus.
find this list you're looking at. Is it that thing that's just moving at the bottom?
Yeah, exhibitors.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they got a lineup. Well, they always have a lineup.
See, I can't even find Bethesda on this list. There's a lot of games.
It's after
Nintendo, Microsoft, Nvidia, Deep Silver, Focus,
yeah,
Disney,
it's there.
Capcom, EA, 505, IGN, Big Ben, Bethesda, ZeniMax Media Company. Okay. Yeah.
So, well, when do you think it's going to be released, do you think? Roughly? If it gets announced in June of this year, what month and year do you think it'll be released? Rough. Oh, you can give 3 months since I gave 3 months.
I think they might release it in. I think they might release it in. They're either going to. I think they're going to release in Q4 of a year, no matter what. I doubt that they might release it in Q1, but
is September Q4? It's not.
No,
is it?
no. September's Q3.
I don't think it's December. I don't think games will come out in December. I know Christmas, but they usually come in end of November.
November, yeah, October, sometimes September and August. I don't know, but
to me, the gaming season is September, October, November.
So maybe I think it'll probably come out towards Q4 of either this year or 2016. Oh, the thing is, it's hard to speculate on when they actually started making the game. I'd like to think they started making it as soon as they were done with Fallout New Vegas.
But they don't have to wait that long. It's not the same studio.
That's cool. Yeah, they could have started right at the end of Fallout 3, right at the end of Broken Steel. They're like, okay, let's start planning.
You know, if it comes out in 2018, which is only 3 years away, okay, it's gonna be 10 years after Fallout 3 came out.
That is rough.
It's been 7 years since Fallout 3 came out.
Yeah. Yeah, so they technically could have been working on it for 7 years. And if you think about it like that, they could definitely release it this year, Who knows? Maybe they'll do maybe the whole E3 thing is just another ploy. They just announce, they don't talk about Fallout at all. They don't even acknowledge it. Like, people will ask them questions and they'll ignore their questions.
I've got it.
And then they put it on the shelves in October and don't tell anyone.
Yes! That was exactly where I was going. No, but not in October. They don't announce it. During E3, it goes on sale. While everyone's watching for Fallout, it's on sale.
and they have a way. What they do is they have tweets and things saying go like they release something like maybe like what's the one game it's Daggerfall? No, it's
Daggerfall was the second Elder Scrolls.
Dishonored, sorry.
Dishonored.
So they're like, we released Dishonored Game of the Year edition or something. Go pick it up today at your local store. And they get to the local store, Fallout 4 is right next to it.
like 10 people are like, we wanted Dishonored.
Yeah. And everyone and those 10 people are mugged by the Fallout 4 fans.
Wait, I've got it right. They're doing the presentation and they've got a PowerPoint and they accidentally have a slide with Fallout 4 on there and they skip and they go, ignore that. It's got like a script on there or something. There's so much shit I would do if I was a Bethesda marketing person.
Yeah, I'd love to work for they have a Bethesda community team and they literally just like give out things to people and do Twitch streams. That'd be an easy job. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on it. But yeah.
I'm gonna keep until the marketing machine starts. I'm gonna try and keep my expectations low.
I have no expectations of how the game's gonna be itself. I've actually forgotten about all the Boston things at this point. I don't even know where it's gonna be, because I feel like most of that was just conjecture by no one in the actual Bethesda team. So they'll release it.
Nothing has come out from the Bethesda.
Exactly. So because it was all conjecture, it's probably gonna be in like fucking Canada or something.
California, please.
California, here it comes. They could also do it. I don't know. There's a lot.
In Washington again.
New Orleans would be a cool place. The Big Easy. They could go back to Chicago and do tactics right. They could. I don't know. Yeah, there's lots of things they could do.
Fallout New Cardiff.
Fallout New Cardiff. They could do that. Yeah, they could go to communist China, and
yes.
They could go to fucking, I don't know. They could go to
Communist Australia.
They could go to post-nuclear Europe after the oil crisis. They could, because I don't know. I feel like Europe was falling apart before the nuclear attacks because of the oil crisis in the game, and then the nukes happened. So I feel like Europe's even more messed up than the U.S. is.
Europe is really messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm trying not to be excited until the marketing machine.
I have no expectations, but I am excited to see what they have, to see what it is. And I'm not going to try not to be excited because, whatever.
Well, I know I'm not going to be able to contain myself once I see a trailer, so I'm going to just keep my excitement as low as it can for now.
Would you like to talk about a console war? No. Would you like to? I mean, it might not be an argument.
Talk about a console war.
So basically, our next topic that we had lined up is 3D console argument. Now,
wait. Is that how you wrote it down?
Yeah.
We're going to have a console argument in 3D.
Sorry, no, I wrote 3DS console argument. Sorry.
Okay. It was more about portables. It
was more about portables. Yeah. See, okay, Putty really likes the 3DS/2DS console, handheld, and he suggested I get it. And I think it started as sort of like a passing, like, yeah, no, if you're ever going to get one, you should get it. And I think I made him angry because I said, no, I don't get handhelds.
I think that was the thing.
I don't like handhelds, I said. And I genuinely have not had a very good experience with handhelds overall. I've also, I've played so much of PC gaming that I feel like going into handhelds would be very difficult for me, and I would not enjoy it as much. So, Putty, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to convince me that I should buy a handheld.
Okay, before I start, because I had problems with this yesterday, or the day before, whenever we talked about it.
The timer has started.
What generation of consoles are we on? Are we on the 8th generation? I think we're on the 8th generation.
I think so. Yeah. I'm on the first generation, PC.
Okay, it's the 8th generation. PC was not the first generation of PC gaming.
Wait, what?
We can go back to the Micro
true.
Machine thing.
Could go to, there's
BBC Micro. Okay, so I can start. Okay, in the 8th generation of consoles, there is a very disappointing lack of variety upon the three main players, which I consider to be PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Gaming Master Race. No bias here, not that at all. There's a shocking lack of variety. If you think of exclusives that are worthwhile, I think of The Last of Us, alright? Which, probably a good exclusive that you can pull out of your ass there. Fair enough. I think of Forza, which is only good to one section of the population. That's fine. It's not my kind of game, so I'll leave that out of there. But most games are probably better on PC than they are on the consoles, and as it is currently today, PCs are, you could probably buy a PC for the same price as a console that is as good as the consoles at playing just games. So
and then you'll save tons of money on buying the Steam games.
Buying games, yes. So I just think out of those three, I just don't think the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One are worth it to a gamer. If you want an entertainment system that plays games as one of its features, then we can talk. Okay? I'm okay to entertain that theory. If your friends are on those consoles, there's no argument against that. That's an absolutely fair argument. Completely fair. There you go. That's why I discount those two as any players in an actual what gaming platforms are worth having. Then you have the portables. The PlayStation Vita is really good, but its main what's the word? Strength. Its main strength. Its main absolute strength.
Is versatility?
Is JRPGs.
Ah, okay.
It really excels at JRPGs. They've got Persona 4, they've got Muramasa. It's one of the best consoles for playing those games. You can now plug your PS Vita up to a TV. It's a really good console. I like it. In fact, I'm probably going to end up buying one. But I think the two Nintendo offerings are more useful to someone who also has a PC. Because, you know what? If Nintendo games were on PC, that would be the best of both worlds. But they're not, unfortunately. So what I'll offer up is if you have a Wii U or a 3DS, or preferably both, along with your PC, you can experience most games that come out, and you can experience them the best you can. You can't play Pikmin on your PC. You could play Dead Rising on your PC. Therefore, I think the best situation for a gamer to be in right now is to have a PC and one or both of the Nintendo offerings, because I think it offers the biggest variety of games.
Okay.
Boom. I don't need the rest of the minutes, brah. I'm done.
Okay.
Let me drop this mic.
That was 3 minutes. You have not convinced me. Next topic.
I would like a retort.
You didn't really talk about handhelds that much. You talked about Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm talking no, just because this generation, I think, I don't think I'm not exclusively saying the 3DS is a great thing to have. I'm just saying one of those two, along with your PC, is the best console if you want more games.
Mm-hmm.
Those two are the ones to go to. And if you like JRPGs, then yeah, look at the PS Vita. If the PS Vita is significantly cheaper than those two, which I don't think it is, I think it's around the same price as the 3DS, definitely go for it. But if you're looking just for the most amount of quality games, in my opinion, I think the Wii U and the 3DS are about on par with each other. I wouldn't say either of them is better or worse. If you can get both, that is the best of everything. If you have a PC and those two things, in my personal experience, I haven't played that much of the PS4 and Xbox One, but I know the games that are out for those consoles, and they don't look too great. I have most of them on my PC, better, running at 60 FPS,
Yeah.
1080p. So that is, in my opinion, the best place to be as a gamer in this generation.
Here, I think this is one reason. Also, coming from a more personal note, I started playing games when I was, probably like, I don't know, 10 years old. And my
You were 10 years old 7 years ago?
yeah, sure.
Fallout 3 came out that year.
Okay, really? Wow.
Yeah.
You started playing Fallout 3 when you were 10? No,
I guess I did.
I probably started really getting into games when I was 10, and I would play I would see
Half-Life?
my sisters play Nintendo 64, but for some reason I really got into the PC. And it's mainly as a result, I think, of my dad. He had a big influence on me. And so, and he also had an influence on the games I played on the PC, mainly shooters. And it took me 2 years before I got into strategy games, and it took me 5 years before I got into RPGs. So, I had these sort of periods in my life, and I think the sort of Nintendo childlike sort of atmosphere, not childlike, I don't mean they're immature games, but sort of fun and a little more lighthearted games. Some of them are not lighthearted, but you know what I mean? That sort of Nintendo games. I won't describe them because I haven't played all of them. I kind of missed out on a lot of those. I haven't played that many of the Zeldas. I haven't played really almost any of the Pokemons. I think I try to not tell these people this stuff because they get angry at me. I once had someone throw stones at me. No, but people do get angry when you tell them this, and it's like, it's not my fault. It's just the way I was raised. I was not raised on Nintendo. I was given a PS2, and I played a lot of PS2 games, and then I was given I finally got a Wii, and so I got into Wii games, but I never got into Pokemon, for one, because that's all a handheld thing, and pretty much like they had some games, but it's mainly a handheld thing.
There's no
and so
series game
even when I had a Wii, I didn't get that much into a lot of the old Nintendo games, and so I feel that I missed out on a lot, and I think that might be why I don't like handhelds. Maybe it's the part of me that was abused as a child. No, just kidding. But you know what I mean? Once you're stuck in your ways, it's kind of hard to break out of that. And I think that may be one reason why I irrationally don't like handhelds, is because I have just been so long playing PC games, and sometimes on and off going to other consoles, and then always coming back to PC. Whether I might have gone to PS2 for a while, and then I came back, and I might have gone to Xbox 360 for a while, and I came back, and I might have gone to Wii for a while, and I came back. I always come back to PC, and I think I also have a stigma against consoles now. I think I have a stigma against anything but a PC, because I find myself always coming back to the PC, and I'm wondering, why am I spending money on consoles when I'm not playing them for longer than a year and a half? So that's, I think, why I have this stigma against consoles, and I think it's not something you can convince me to do. I think I just need to convince myself to try the new one out, to try a 3DS or to try a Vita for that matter, and just get into it. I think that's my problem. So
yeah, I think because like I had a completely different first couple of years in gaming, because I often either just scrounged myself a console or played on someone else's for multiple days, because I would play Earthbound on my Nintendo, but you could only play Final Fantasy on PlayStation, so I'd get someone's PlayStation. But you could only play Deus Ex on the PC, so I'd get a PC up and running. But you could only play Halo on the Xbox, so I'd get an Xbox up and running. So I was I was moving around consoles at a very early age because I wanted to play as many games, as good games as I could. So that's why nowadays I'm like, all right, so if Nintendo has different games, I'm gonna go buy Nintendo. If Sony didn't have all the games I have on PC, then I would probably pick up a PS4.
Hmm.
You know, I bought a PS3 for one game. I ended up playing 3 or 4 on it, but then I literally played 3 or 4 games on my PS3. And I think that was a reasonable investment because my PS3 I played the amount of hours it took to make my PS3 investment £1 per hour. You know what I mean? Like that's how long I played that console for because those 4 games were that important to me.
Hmm. I think I rate different products for different reasons on how much I enjoyed it and how much that was worth to pay it.
Yeah.
Um, for example, I think if like on shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, on on headphones, for example. I just bought a headset because I needed a new one, and I'm not an audiophile. I love listening to music and I love sound in games. It's probably more important to me than visuals, but unfortunately, I just am not an audiophile. I think you have to be really into audio to be that. So I'm not really
Yeah.
concerned on the perfect headphones as far as audio quality because I won't notice a difference between a really good pair of headphones and a perfect pair of headphones as far as audio quality. I'm more concerned about durability in the end. That's the main thing I'm concerned with. And the pair of headphones I just bought have a cast iron frame. If that tells you anything about why I bought them. So because I'm tired of headphones breaking, I'm fucking done with it. So I brought a Marshall brand of headphones that have a cast iron frame. And I think with consoles, it has nothing to do with durability, obviously, because I'm not wearing them. I think with consoles, the reason I value a console is just literally how long I got out of it. And I guess if I wasn't, if I think when it feels to me like consoles are fads to me. Like I play it for a while and get bored of it. And I think if a fad, I don't think you should try to get into fads. You know what I mean? Because fads to me are a waste of money.
Yeah, I mean my Wii U hasn't got what it's worth to me yet, but it's still going. I still pick it up every now and then, but right now it's not a value. You know, it wasn't worth its value to me right now. It hasn't proved its value to me right now. I've only played it for under 100 hours. I think I'd probably say that for definite. So that hasn't proved its worth to me yet, but it's still going. But I remember I broke my old DS, my DSi XL. Like last year, I broke my DS in school. I moved a chair and it went on top of it,
Yeah.
and it just crushed the screen. And I thought to myself, because I had the money to go and replace it, because by then the 3DS was out. So and I had a 3DS, but their DS games play better on the DS than they do on the 3DS. So I thought to myself, should I buy a new DS or should I just play them on my 3DS? And I thought to myself, you know what? I got thousands of hours out of that DS. I'm just gonna go buy another DS. You
Yeah.
know, so I did. I went and I bought another DS, and I've got like 50 hours out of it, and I'm probably gonna get a few more when I go back to the old Pokemon games.
Mhm.
But the problem with the DS is that it's only Pokemon. It is only Pokemon. The DS, not the 3DS. The DS.
Yeah. Yeah.
The DS was so much shit on the DS. So much shit. 30, 40 pound games that were shit. Like were like licensed titles that were 2 hour bullshit games. Portable versions of Call of Duty that were dreadful. The DS had so much crap on it. Pokemon was the only game on the DS, or Phoenix Wright, obviously. But even Phoenix Wright, you don't really play on the DS. You play it on the Wii. Um, it's just like that sullied the reputation of console of handhelds a lot, and that's why I'm glad for the first 2 years of me owning a 3DS, there wasn't even a Pokemon game on there, and I still got my hours worth of it because there are so many other good games like Animal Crossing, which takes up too much time of your life, and Tales of the Abyss, which is a game that I played as a child, but couldn't get my hands on in later years because it's like 200 quid to get imported from Australia, the only other region that can play on UK PlayStations. So I got it for 20 quid and I loved it, and it's a revisit. It's just so much great stuff that I've got to play on the 3DS. My second, possibly favorite game of all time is on the 3DS, Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies.
Yeah.
And I got to play through that, one week. I got to play through it with headphones in, and I love that you can plug headphones into your 3DS and then just sit on your sofa with it plugged into the wall and just turn off the lights and just immerse yourself in it. And when you actually do that, because you can take yourself anywhere, you can take yourself to the back of the garden if you want and immerse yourself in something, and it's it's those experiences to me that I don't have them that often. Sometimes with the 3DS, sometimes I'm playing it every day in school. I'm just playing Pokemon to pass the time, but sometimes I'll just get a new game like Phoenix Wright or Tales of the Abyss or I'm sure Majora's Mask will do the same to me when I get my hands on it, or Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
I will take myself someone dark, I will plug my headphones in, and I will play for 12 hours. And I'll go to sleep, I will wake up, I will turn on the light, I will go get food, I will come back, I will turn off the light and play for another 12 hours. That is how my life works for about a week. And those experiences are some of the best of my life. It's that's why that system means so much to me. But even like taking myself out of that, I can still objectively say that my situation where I've got a PC, a Wii U, and a 3DS is the best situation to be in as a gamer this generation. Because I've just got so many games. Bayonetta 2 is coming out for the Wii U soon, so I'll get to dust that thing off.
Yeah.
For the first time since 3U died.
So I think at the end of the day, this turned from an argument to more just a discussion, which I'm glad it did, because it's not something I'm not like angry about handhelds. And
Screw
actually,
you handhelds for existing.
Since the last time we talked about this, I've considered more and more looking at my options for buying a 2DS or a 3DS, and like I said, I'm not gonna buy it at full price. I think I'm gonna look into getting it as cheap as possible, but I think I'm gonna get it. So would you like to move on to the next topic?
I'm willing to.
I think I'm ready.
I think so.
I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to go into the end? Do you want to talk about the DLC?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
So the reason why this spurred this on is because there was a lot of weird controversy around the Evolve DLC recently. A lot of people were really annoyed that there was so much of it on day one. But obviously it's all cosmetic. I don't think we really need to talk about that much because that's just people being stupid. But I just think it could spur on a general conversation about DLC. I wanted to know what your thoughts about DLC in video games, day one DLC, things like that.
Day one DLC are the worst. That's bad. I don't like DLC. I think if it's gonna be okay, the only kind of day one DLC that I like are little things you might get as a bonus for buying maybe the collector's edition or something, which I think is okay. Like if it's a little thing, like, oh, so you bought the collector's edition, so you get like a golden gun or something, whatever. But I think if it's like a quest line that they're selling on day one, separate from the game, that's weird. That's shady. That's shitty. I don't like that. But overall, I don't have a ton of problems with DLC because unfortunately we're in a period of gaming now where it's here, and if I had a big problem with it, I don't think I'd play video games, because I tend to focus on things like that, and if I get too focused on something like that, it'll ruin for me. Like like my focus on how evil bankers are has ruined banking for me. No,
but it's so fun.
Yeah, it is. But you know what I mean. So I think I try not to focus on the sort of shittiness of the gaming industry, because I think gaming is supposed to be fun for me. But I do think a lot of DLC that they release is really shit. What was that one game that they had DLC on the disc that you had to pay for to activate? What was it?
Call of Duty.
Was it Call of Duty?
Call of Duty has done that.
I feel like it was another one though. Anyway, when a game does that is
Dragon Age did it, I think.
Dragon Age. I thought it might have been the Assassin's Creed. I don't know, but that to me feels wrong and dirty. Like
really wrong to me.
Yeah.
Did we have that? Were you on the episode with Tippecanoe?
No, I wasn't. Because at that time I was just a guest, so I wasn't on when you had a guest.
We had a very long conversation with Tippecanoe about DLC.
What was his opinion?
Baffling to me. That all DLC was ever, like the company ever produces after the game's finished, should be free.
See, I think that'd be awesome. I mean,
but I think you couldn't hire people to make it because you wouldn't have the money.
That's true. Yeah. Here's my thing. I like, in a way, what Paradox games do a lot of times, where they release new big DLC and they update certain features of the game with each DLC release. So you get free stuff even if you didn't pay for the DLC.
Yeah.
So that's nice, I think. You're right. It's hard to get people to work on a DLC if you're not bringing money. And DLC at this point is a huge moneymaker for games. I mean, just enormous profit can be made from DLC. So
Sometimes more than the actual game.
So it's, I mean, obviously I'd love for it to be free, but unless we live in a resource-based economy, like I've talked to you before about, that's impossible. So I can't believe you don't. I forget. Do you disagree with my idea on that? One of my friends hates when I talk about that, and I don't remember if it's you.
I don't hate it because we only talked about it a couple of times, and I think I'm alright with it. It's just I do like capitalism. I am a fan, unlike you. So I mean, I definitely like support something like that. It's just I'm not absolutely hoorah behind it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the DLC thing, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, so I don't think DLC, like, to me the first point of draw, the first line we have to draw for me is, if you are hiring new voice actors and new writers, or hiring back the old writers to write whole new content on a storyline basis, on a voice acting, especially for me, anything like that, look, you've got to charge for it. And if you come out and say it's $10 for this new decently sized piece of story content with new voice actors, good writing, stuff like that, I've got a problem with it. Especially if it's like 6 months after the games come out and it's obvious you've been working on it after the games come out.
I do think the prices of DLC sometimes are really jacked up. Like, just for the amount of content it's adding, sometimes I feel that the price is completely unreasonable. I think that's sometimes about Paradox games and a lot of games. I think it's not the prices for Bethsoft DLC. I don't think are necessarily unreasonable because I think it adds a lot of content. But the prices for a lot of games, when it just adds maybe a couple of quest lines or some extra weapons and it costs $15, that's like, what? Like, I don't know. I think the prices overall average on DLC needs to be lowered. That would be my biggest thing against DLC. I mean, do you think they're reasonable prices, or?
I wonder, because when I look at Paradox expansions, and I think
they add stuff, but do they add that much? Like, it's still the base game is there, and I feel like it doesn't take them that long to develop their expansions. It's such a very basic engine. I feel like it takes them a month. Like, I do not think the coders spend that much time working on those DLC, and so I don't know if it's really worth that much, you know?
I mean, one thing you can look at for DLC is where it's come from, which is expansion packs. And sometimes things like WoW, they introduce a whole new game, but they charge you the price of a whole new game.
Yeah. So, and some game companies do the opposite, where I think like Far Cry 3,
Blood Dragon,
for example, they released Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which is a whole other game, and they charged the price of a DLC for it, if I remember.
Because it wasn't as big as...
It wasn't as big, but it was a standalone. It was a lot of fun. It had its own story. I'd say Blood Dragon was very reasonably priced.
Yes, like when I wouldn't say it has enough content to be a full priced release, so I'm glad they priced it.
Not $60, but I think they priced it at $20.
Yeah.
And that is, to me, is a great price for standalone DLC. In my opinion, are one of the best kinds.
Yeah,
because
it can sometimes be better than the actual game. Like, I prefer Blood Dragon.
Yes, and it's sort of instead of building on the same concept over and over and over again, you're sort of getting down to the basics again and reworking a game, which is really cool. So it's
with there's another one, but I've forgotten it now. Oh well, there is another one, but it's not the one I'm thinking of, called Shadowrun Dragonfall, we were talking about the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's also a standalone game that was apparently better than the original. Sorry if I just messed up your train.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But standalone DLC are great in my opinion. They're the best kind. The worst kind are day one DLC. You know,
worst. I don't know about day one, because if it's cosmetic, I don't have a huge issue about it. The worst kind of DLC to me, and is the most overpriced,
are unit
my huge.
No,
I don't mind them that much.
I don't actually get what they add. What do unit packs add in your?
They change the appearance of your soldiers on the map. Anyway,
That is so stupid.
I think the most overpriced DLCs are first-person shooter map packs.
Oh, that is a very good point. See, I was
They,
talking about very broad DLC, but that's more specific. I like that. Yeah.
but I think it's really commonplace though. I
Mhm.
think it's in a lot of first-person shooters now, and obviously the big evil is Activision as usual. But I won't harp on them too much because I do like how much content they added with the zombie maps.
Yeah. Well,
Back in that
EA
day.
does it too with Battlefield and Medal of Honor.
Yes,
Um,
and I feel like if you had map packs, not only are they really overpriced, 4 maps for like 15, 20, for $20, whatever it is. That's ridiculous, for one thing. Second of all, if you buy those map packs, you won't be able to play with people who don't have those map packs.
yeah.
That's an absolutely anti-consumer, anti-customer, you're not helping your player base at all. Like, you're splitting up your player base. Some players can't play. You're not helping people find games. What if in 5 years' time your game is dead and players still can't find each other because they don't have the maps?
Yeah, I think that is a problem. Like, no, you're right. You're right, and it's not that much content for the amount they're charging. Like,
Nope.
it is considering how basic multiplayer is when you really think about it. When you really get down to it, the amount of building that goes into multiplayer, it's basically just making sure that the physics are all there when you build a multiplayer map. And because the players do it for you, they do all the thinking. There's no AI, So it's making sure all the physics are there, and for them to charge what, $15-$20 for a few maps that and a lot of the maps are just reworked versions of old maps.
Yeah. I mean, I like that they add them, but they should probably be free.
No, yeah, they should definitely add them. I think they should have them for free. That's a thing that should be free.
Maps, yeah.
I think you're yeah.
Add skins.
What you
add
said was
skins.
interesting. If the DLC has new voice acting and new story and new game components, it should be charged. But if it's the same game component, just different things, just like another thing, that should be free.
But no, I also think like if you give someone the chance to buy a golden gun, that's cool. But just if you add a map, that's a negative thing. If somebody has a map and you don't, that's a problem. If somebody has a golden gun and you don't, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
So if you want to put out some golden guns so that you can be like, so that you can make a little bit more money. Look at Killing Floor, right? Killing Floor adds so much new content for free. But they've sold golden guns, so they can make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because they make so little of it when you think... They probably do fine for themselves, but they don't ask for much. All they sell is cosmetic stuff in Killing Floor.
Yes.
And it's not obtrusive to me. I've never bought... I've bought 2 gun packs from Killing Floor. But I bought them not because I wanted the stuff in them, but because I wanted to support the developer. And that's where it should be. Like, you should offer these things that are cool little things that are there for people to help you with your revenue streams.
Yeah.
Rather than buy this map or your game's not going to be as good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do proper story content, like you mentioned, I think that's completely free game. Like, we were talking about the other day how your argument was that the game would be worse if they were in from the start, and I didn't quite agree that. But I definitely think it's fine to add them later because you've put so much effort into them after the game's been released.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think also that means that it means I think if you release one argument for that, and I think I was hungry yesterday, but one argument for releasing DLC after is that it means you can release the main game first. You can release the main game a little earlier, and then you can play the main game while they're working on the DLC. That to me is one good thing. Because while you're waiting for the main game, if they bundled all the DLC with it, you'd have to wait longer, and you wouldn't have the main game to play while you're waiting for the DLC to come out. So that's one thing. But that's a small argument.
For people that buy games on day one, I guess that's a good argument.
Well, I think specifically the argument was for Fallout. The one yesterday. I think we were just only arguing about Fallout.
The argument was about Fallout, so yeah. But I would be happy waiting 2 more months for Fallout if all that content was in there. I'd be happy waiting another year if all the content was in there. The bigger the game, not the bigger the game, because we've talked about that before. The better the game they can make, the longer I'm willing to wait for it.
Yeah.
If they take 8 years and then release a buggy piece of shit mess that is a hidden gem, because it's gonna be good in some places, it's Fallout. But if they have so many, if it's as buggy as Fallout 3 or New Vegas was, and like they're probably not going to tell us how long they've been working on it, but if they tell us it's been 8 years and then this comes out, I'm just.
And some
I'm
bugs
just
seem
done.
so obvious. Like, if you paid some guy $1 to spend an hour playing the game, he would find every bug. Every single one. Like, and we're not talking about these little bugs where you're in the corner of the map in a rock that no one goes to, and if you run at it for 30 minutes straight, you fall through it. That's not the bug I'm talking about. Those bugs are fine. Okay? I'm talking about you load the game up and your hands aren't there. Okay? You load the game up, your inventory screams at you with a bunch of numbers. Okay? You load the game up and every item is capitalized for some reason.
Or you give Boone your unique sniper rifle. 2 days later, Boone is nowhere to be found, and even when they fix the bug, Boone is gone.
Bethesda,
you never find Boone.
Bethesda, if you're hearing me right now, give me your game. I will test it for free. Find every single bug before you release it. I will do that for you.
And Bethesda, you need a bigger sample size for things like that. So if you get 2 people playing the game, you'll find even more bugs.
And we're dedicated. We'll be playing it up till the release to make sure we find all those bugs for you. Of course, we will take the rights to upload the content while we're playing it.
I will wait until the game comes out to upload the content, and I will not upload any bugs. I will make it I will give your game a 10 out of 10.
No.
If you let me play.
But in all seriousness, I think it's ridiculous when games companies like they have bug testers. That's a very well known position at a game company, and yet these huge bugs that you could you stumble upon without any try. You don't even try to find them. And they're just there, like huge, just in the middle of the road. How could you not have seen that in the months leading up to the testing of this game?
You know what irks me more than the bug tester thing is that I'm not going to mention his name because I know we're not talking to too many people here, and I know it'd be okay to mention his name. But I have been in contact in the past with a game developer, right? A really big cheese at a game company that I talk to reasonably, like not personally.
Is it Pete Hines?
No, it's not that I talk to him like a friend, but I'm in contact with him to complain about a game a lot, right? Not anymore, but I was back in my heyday of playing that game. And I talked to him a lot, and he'd say these things, and he'd not understand the bugs in the game, and then every 2 months he'd be like, he'd say like he's playing the game, and I'm like, he said he plays the game all the time, and I'm like, how do you not notice these things? It's when like the head developer plays the game and they can't even notice the bugs.
It's ridiculous, and it almost makes me think like they're playing a different version than we are. They're playing the Seeker's super special developer version.
You know when you get pissed off that a game is really buggy? Mm-hmm. It's when you love the game so much.
Maybe they release the bugs on purpose. Maybe it's one big scheme. I don't know.
But the people who just bought the game for five quid and are just like, I'll play it when I play it. Those people aren't going to go and complain about the bugs. They're just not going to play the game anymore.
They're probably not going to discover the bugs because if they buy it for 5 quid, the bugs have all been patched by then. So they're going to get a better experience than the hardcore fans that paid $50 for all this shitty bugs, That's the sad thing.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
Some guy will walk up into Best Buy or whatever your local shop is and say, oh, yeah, I've heard of Fallout 3. What's this, Game of the Year edition? Oh, $20 for all the expansions? Okay. No bugs. Mostly bug-free experience. Plays it. Great. He likes it. He's like, oh, this is pretty good. People who are hardcore in love with the series, Fallout New Vegas comes out, they pay $60 and they can't play it.
Pre-order it.
Yeah. So...
You know what? I completely agree with that for one thing, and I have to say, buying games on day one is irresponsible. Pre-ordering games is irresponsible. You should never do it. I'm only going to do it for one more game in the future, unless Fallout 4 is good. I'm only going to do it for Fallout 4, and if Fallout 4 burns me, I'm never pre-ordering or buying a game on day one ever again. I haven't since Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 was the last game non-Nintendo that I bought on day one.
The last one I bought on day one was Wolfenstein New Order, and I was very happy with my purchase.
That wasn't that long ago. Borderlands 2 was like 3 years.
Yeah. No, but I wasn't saying it was a long time ago. I'm just giving the sort of a devil's advocate position. I think I don't know. I buy games on day one that I am very confident I will at least enjoy.
You're also easy to please, though.
I'm easier to please, but at the same
Borderlands
time,
is unreal.
At the same time, I know I wouldn't buy Borderlands day one. I would buy, but Wolfenstein, basically a game from id. There are certain developers like Bethesda. I'm not going to buy all Bethesda's games on day one because a lot of them are just outsourced to random developers. But if id develops a game, I'm buying it. Just you can't convince me not to. It's fucking id. You know, they've made every good shooter ever. Like they are the king of classic shooters. And if they develop a game, I'm probably gonna buy it on day one because they just don't disappoint. They have never disappointed me. I can say this confidently. Id has never disappointed me once. And so that is the company, and it happens to be owned by the same company that Bethesda owns. So you have to try not to get the two companies confused, because it is technically a subsidiary under ZeniMax, like Bethesda. But for some reason, Bethesda now takes the position of publicizing and marketing their games for some reason. I don't get what's going on there.
Like, ZeniMax seems like a group of shareholders.
It does. It's weird.
Like, it's a large span media company, and
Bethesda's become the face.
Yeah.
Bethesda's become the face because all their brands under it are released through Bethesda.
I'm pretty sure ZeniMax owns 2K as well. I might be completely off on that.
No, I don't think they own 2K.
I know Bethesda and 2K used to be in bed because and they still are to some extent actually.
It and Gearbox used to be in bed. Lots of companies have been in bed over the years, but
yeah, because I remember Bethesda used 2K's lockpick system for Oblivion.
Yeah. Interesting. Oblivion's lockpick system. That's great. I think it'd be interesting if they added a feature where you could choose whether to use Oblivion's lockpick system or the more traditional one that they invented in Fallout 3. Like you could, in the options, select which one.
But you say more traditional. It's actually less traditional.
No. I mean the currently more traditional, the one Well, I think the one in Oblivion was more accurate to what locks were. Like that's actually what you're probably doing if you're picking a lock. You're not just sticking a screwdriver and like turning it around. But yeah, I think. But yeah, I'm just, for me, they're really, id's probably the only developer that I would do it on. If they release a game, I'm gonna buy it on day one because they just don't disappoint me because of how much I love their games. And I don't expect anyone else to show them that dedication because I have a history with id. You know, we're bros.
Yeah. It's for me, it's series. Like, if I like the first, I'd say 2 games of a series, I'll get in bed with that series, and then once you disappoint me though, I'm not really gonna come back. Like,
well,
if you
and another
burn
thing,
me once, I'm gone.
It's easier to do. Like, I'm not like, it'd be one thing if the person was like a Ubisoft fan where they buy every game that Ubisoft makes on day one. Okay, but me, id barely makes that many games, so it's not really digging into my budget that much. Like, they're gonna make Doom 4, which, by the way, if I've never talked about this, I am so excited. Because I mean, I liked Wolfenstein, but I had nowhere near the love for Wolfenstein as a series as I do Doom. So, I mean, when Doom 4 comes out, you know I'm going to be locked in my basement and no one's going to see me for months. No.
Did you know the same people who own 2K own Rockstar?
Really?
Yep.
Who is it?
Take-Two Interactive. You probably
yeah, I have. There's just these weird conglomerates. They're like the Illuminati.
EA tried to take over Take-Two last year.
And they weren't successful?
They weren't successful.
Well, I would say Take-Two is a pretty powerful company if they own 2K and Rockstar.
Yeah.
I mean,
also,
EA can try to feel like they're the king of the world, but they're not.
Borderlands 2 was Unreal Engine.
I feel that Valve at this point is the company that if they wanted to, they could buy anything. But
I don't think they could buy EA.
Maybe not EA, but I don't know.
Anything below.
They definitely have a lot more money than EA.
Definitely?
Guaranteed. They take royalties off of every game that is produced through Steam.
Okay, carry on talking.
Anyway,
Oh, wait. Also, do you want to know how many DLCs, like proper, full-fledged DLC storyline contents were made for Borderlands 2?
How many?
9. There were 2 season passes. Sorry, I just need to push that out.
Okay. So Borderlands has a lot of DLC, is what you're saying. There were, I think, 14 for Sims 3. There was like, and if you include like, I'm not going to get into The Sims. I am not going to get into The Sims. Because Sims and DLC is basically like...
Okay, Valve is worth about an estimated $3 billion.
Okay. That's a lot of money.
Okay, now I'm trying to find EA. EA tried to buy Valve.
Did EA also try to buy Google? Who's drunk at EA? What do they have? Some sort of they have the idea of grandeur, like they're going to conquer the world through conglomeration and purchases. Like that's hilarious. I can't believe they tried to buy Valve. Anyway,
they offered $1 billion. They said no.
$1 billion. $1 billion. Dude, Facebook paid $1 billion for Instagram.
I'm sure someone played like $1 billion for like the Oculus Rift or something like that.
No, I don't think $1 billion for the Oculus Rift, because now that really usership is mainly what you sell, those kinds of things.
Was it $1 million?
Anyway, I'm done with the DLC talk, but I don't know about you.
I don't think we came to we came to a couple of conclusions. We didn't come to like a general one. What do you think about cosmetic DLC?
Specifically by what?
Cosmetics, like skins and things like that. Yeah, wait. Facebook paid $2 billion for Oculus Rift. $2 billion.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
So I was wrong. EA offered Valve $1 billion to buy the company out.
Did you say $2 billion for Oculus Rift?
$2 billion for Oculus Rift.
Damn, it must have been because of the technology. Anyway, yeah. So EA tried to buy Valve for $1 billion. It's hilarious. Valve at this point and Valve is getting into technology and that sort of thing. So I think Valve will definitely become very, very powerful in the coming decade.
If you could fill out a couple of minutes with airtime, I can actually probably get some profits for Valve and EA.
No, it's fine. I'm not that interested in that. Anyway, so as far as cosmetic DLC, I don't like it that much. I'm not a big fan of them.
No, but do you think it's like ethical's the wrong word? But do you think
none of this is ethical?
There are no ethics.
Well, I think we should go to the expert on ethics, Putty, who has released a video on it. No,
so I think corporate ethics are determined by the consumers.
Anyway,
no, like cosmetic DLC. What's the word? Do you think it's reasonable for companies to charge for cosmetic DLC, considering it has no impact on gameplay at all? You don't think it's reasonable for them to charge for it?
Not really.
Why?
I think, well, I guess if it has no impact on gameplay and you don't have to pay for it, then I guess they can charge for it. I feel like that should be something, though, that they might release for free. I think if it's cheap little things here and there, that's fine if they want to charge for it.
What's the problem if it doesn't impact gameplay at all? It's all cosmetic, and they release tons of them. They don't shove it down your throat.
Well, I guess that's not a problem. No.
Okay. Right. And it's just cosmetic.
Okay. It's not a problem.
No, wait. I'm about to make another point. If it's just cosmetic, is it okay if it's on day one? The art team's already finished, right? Finished making the game.
I think I have a feeling, just a problem with that in my gut, because I feel like day one should be all about the game, and not about all these other.
Yeah, they're not gonna say, "Hey, you just bought our game."
Hey, I'm not gonna make a rational argument on why I don't want it on day one. For me, I wouldn't like that. It would give me a bad feeling for any DLC to be released on day one.
What about day two?
We'll say week. We'll say the first 2 weeks, really. If any, preferably 1 month.
That's a long time. How the hell is EA supposed to survive without getting income for 2 weeks?
They're getting income for the whole 2 weeks people are buying their game.
Well, what if everyone just buys the game on day one? What if it fails?
Then they just made the most money.
We need to put microtransactions
wait. Everyone bought the game on day one. EA can retire. EA as a company can retire. Because that's the best-selling game of all time.
Okay, what if it only sold on day one, and then there's no more sales for like 2 more months? We have to put microtransactions in.
I think they'll be fine.
What if EA fails? Sorry.
Poor EA. Anyway, but yeah, that's my
How will I get my FIFA every year?
That's my feelings on microtransaction. I definitely do think EA is the best example for DLC being very like little ones here and there. They have a lot of.
EA weren't like tiny. They were like 12 like tight. Not they weren't tiny. They were small, really small. But they weren't like microtransactions. They were content packs, very overpriced content. Like we're on about The Sims, obviously. I assume we are actually.
Sims
Are we?
and a few other games they've released a lot of small DLC for. I can't really think of right now, but Sims mainly.
Yeah. Sims was just.
And a lot of the stuff packs, and if you look on the and not only like they have the major releases of packs, and then if you look on the EA store of Sims,
Wait.
how much little things you can buy for
Hey.
$30.
On the bright side, Sims DLC shows that EA takes PC seriously, since there's only like 3 of them for Xbox and there's like 12 of them for PC.
No, they definitely do. Sims is a PC game. That is a
Yeah,
PC
you can't
game,
play it on Xbox.
and it's interesting because Sims is the one PC game where it's a PC game dedicated, but most of the people who play it aren't dedicated PC gamers. It's an interesting universe, and that's why they make it so, especially
It's very similar ecosystem. I'm not sure if you're getting at it as FM. A lot of people who play FM aren't dedicated PC gamers, but like
and
shit tons of
I think
people.
that's why they made a lot of effort on Sims 4 to make it more playable on really weak PC computers. Really weak computers. It's very playable on most computers, and I think in many ways that's why people were like, "Wait, is it just me, or did the graphics like take a step back?" And in a way, they made it more artistic and less consuming on your system, so that people with just laptops could run the game, because a lot of people with just laptops play Sims. Anyway, but I think with Sims DLC, it's fine that they release that many DLC, but the fact that...
First, can I take a huge issue to that?
Huh?
You don't make things work on lower end PCs by making the whole graphical experience worse. You give people options and optimize it correctly.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Even at the lowest options, a lot of games cannot run on these really shitty computers. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's what I would do, but that's the fact is they do that and it works, and everyone seems to really like the fact that they do that.
But if they have these graphics sorted out on The Sims 4, surely they could just have those graphics as an option.
And it could, but I mean, let's look at it this way. I've played Sims 3 and I've played Sims 4. Sims 4 is a beauty as far as how much better it runs. They do have graphical options on Sims 4.
But you were saying the highest isn't as that good.
I mean, I think it's more streamlined compared to Sims 3. Sims 3 graphics, I think it's hard to say because Sims 3 graphics weren't that good in the first place. It's never been a series where graphics have really been the focus. But you're right, they could make it an option. All I'm saying is the game itself is much more streamlined for weaker systems.
I definitely think options are a much better thing for weaker systems than just making the entire game handicapped.
I mean, that's fine, but I mean, the sales prove that doing that makes Sims 3 more sellable to those people.
Doing what? Scaling back the entire graphics?
Yeah.
I mean, so you can't select the higher graphics. So suddenly people want to buy it. It's like, oh, so I can't accidentally select higher graphics than I can have. Oh, great, let me buy that.
They don't. I'm telling you, the people who play Sims don't. The majority, the demographic of which is women.
Show me one person who says it's a better thing to have no option to go higher.
I'll tell you what. I can show you many people who don't know what graphical options are.
Okay, that's fine.
And those people play Sims.
Make the default the lowest it can be, so the people that know what they're doing can go higher.
Okay, I will. Next time I make Sims.
No, I know you're acting as devil's advocate, but it makes me feel like this is your opinion. Is it?
I'll never tell you. Look, it's how it is. What I was saying is the main thing that irks me is the fact that the DLC costs $30 each. For the amount of content, I don't think I've never really seen. There are a few DLC in this world that I would pay $30 for and say that was worth it. There are a few, and I think $30 for the amount of content they add is ridiculous. And it's every DLC. It's every DLC. $30. Some are $40. Is almost as much as the game itself. It's outrageous. It's insane. But that's.
But they're giving people jobs.
Yeah, they are giving people jobs, I guess. I don't know how many jobs they're creating, but...
And you don't have to buy the DLC.
You don't have to, no. You don't have to.
There's no real problem with it.
I have a problem with it because the DLC they make do add features to the game, but the amount features of the game that make it more playable and more fun. But they charge outrageous for it.
All DLC makes the game more fun.
Yeah.
So,
but no, cosmetic DLC in my mind don't make the game more fun.
Oh, but some person out there is much happier with his diamond bling gun.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I bet you there's somebody out there who's having more fun because he has a golden gun.
Well, probably lots of people. I mean, otherwise, how would they wouldn't make the DLC if it didn't sell?
Well, probably right, you said fun. I mean, I bought golden guns on Killing Floor to support the devs, not to have more fun.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good on you.
I don't even use the golden guns.
Wow. Well, you really like Killing Floor then.
Yeah. No, I paid $5 for it. I've played it for like 50 hours. They've given tons of free updates. Of course, I'll buy a DLC pack.
Cool. I mean, I think that's an interesting reason to pay for DLC if you're supporting the developers. I think that's really good. I think almost. I don't know. What are your opinions on having an ability to donate to developers? What would you? I don't think you should be able to donate to really big developers, but I
like it, but I think giving them little tiny cosmetic things is a much more palatable way to do it. It makes you feel like you're getting something in return, even though you're like really not.
Well, no. I think you're getting something in return. I think though that it would be interesting if they branded it as a donation and gave you these little things. You know, like
okay.
Like for example,
you became a supporter.
For example, when you buy Girl Scout cookies. You're not buying cookies. You're giving them a donation, and they're giving you cookies, in return. It's really a donation, and they try to market it as that a lot of times. They should, at least. Because
I see.
The reason they're selling it is to raise donation money. They're not a company. So I think even though game companies are companies, I think if they're releasing these little DLC to make money to get through to the next quarter, I think it would be...
Look at Humble Bundle. You pay what you want. It's a donation, and you get games in return.
That's true, but that is a donation. That's great, but that's a donation to actual donations. I'm saying it'd be interesting if the company.
That's a donation to a developer in Humble Bundle.
I thought it was a donation to research companies.
No,
research grants.
You what you give, you can send. You can actually pick now on Humble Bundle how much you give to the dev, how much you give to the charity, and how much you give to Humble Bundle.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. Like, say I donated $8 to the most recent Humble Bundle, right? I gave 50p to Humble Bundle. I gave £2.50 to Square Enix, and I gave $5 to the charity. So I'm giving Square Enix a little bit of money, probably. Like, I bought Final Fantasy VII recently too, so I'll take myself a bit of a leap there. But you are donating to the dev there, even though some people are more donated to the charity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But because it's pay what you want, it feels more like a donation. But you're also getting games in return.
Definitely, yeah. But all I'm saying is, yes, I know they do that. I think the game companies themselves that sell them, it'd be interesting if they branded some of their DLC as donations. And I don't mean big companies, because I don't think big companies could do it. I don't think EA could say, donate to us. We don't have any money. But I think small indie developers releasing DLC and marking it as a donation, I think they might sell more DLC that way, possibly.
I don't know about sell more DLC, but I think that's a good concept that I could definitely get behind if they did something like that. Especially the biggest thing, and that's why I brought up Humble Bundle, that could really market it that way if it was pay what you want. If it's pay what you want, it feels a lot more like a donation, and it means that some people will go out. Like, if you release something for $10, everyone's gonna pay down $10. But if you release something pay what you want, someone who loves the game might well come along and say, here's $100, $200.
Yeah,
and it's happened. So, and some people will say, all right, here's $5, and everything adds up. And I agree with that concept. That's a good idea. And maybe Steam should change their systems to allow that as well.
Mm-hmm. Steam could become an aggregate, or I think that's the word,
and they could take a percentage.
They could, but they become an aggregate for donations. Is what I'm saying. They could become a platform for donations like Humble Bundle has.
Knowing Gabe Newell, it would be really cool. He would probably end up giving Steam's cut to charity.
Probably. But yeah, that's anything else you'd like to talk about DLC before we move on?
DLC is weird, but
it's such a broad topic. It's not like we're ever going to conclude the topic.
I thought it was a good discussion.
I thought it was a good discussion too. The next thing we're going to talk about before we leave today is we both are going to present our we're starting with our 10 fears and wishes, starting from 10 going down to 1. 10 being our least fear or wish.
Yeah.
And for the one being the biggest that we, and obviously this is it's not arbitrary. It's completely subjective. I should say that. So
it's arbitrary.
It's arbitrary. Yeah, it is arbitrary. This first one is very arbitrary because I haven't really sat down and thought about it at all. So the first one's very arbitrary. I think when we get to more the top 5, it'll become more a little serious. But yeah.
Perhaps, yes.
But would you like me to present mine first or yours?
Sure, we'll go with fears first.
Okay.
So we end on a positive.
Okay.
Oh God, are you still there?
I'll go with fear first. Was that really funny on your end?
You played music.
Did I?
Yes.
What?
It was like.
You're kidding.
No.
That doesn't even make sense. Okay, that's weird. Anyway, so I think one of the it's like a hold song dial tone that plays.
Yep.
So
one sec, before you start, I just renewed sorry, I bought the Humble Bundle recently. Okay, so do you know how they release new games as the days go along?
Yeah.
They just released a new game and I accidentally started downloading it. So let me just stop that.
That's okay. So
how do you stop the download?
I don't know. But my
I'm over 100 games. I'm over 100 games on Steam.
Yay! My top fear, my 10th fear, my least fear on this list, is this, and this is the reason this is not the reason I picked this as 10th is not necessarily because it's not as important to me as other fears, but because I highly doubt this will happen. I don't think it's going to happen. If it happened, it'd be very bad. I don't like if this happens, but there's no reason for me to think this happens because they've been very good at this in the past. My 10th fear is having a shitty radio personality for whatever radio station they have in the game. Maybe it should have been they have no radio station at all, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have a radio station. And I think my 10th fear is, oh man, if they didn't have a radio personality like Three Dog or Mr. New Vegas, who's really charismatic and fun and has all these great things to get you through the game, and sort of communicates things about you as you're going through the game. Whispers about you, like, oh, we saw the courier, blah, blah, blah. Or the Lone Wanderer is a shitty person, whatever,
Yeah.
I think that would crush me a little bit. But the reason it's 10th, it would literally crush me. It would break me. But the reason that's 10th is because I doubt it's going to happen. They've been so good at that in the past that, I mean, it's only been 2 games, but they've done it really well. And there's no indication that they won't do that well. So that's why that's my 10th fear. It's important to me. What?
One of the biggest step-ups from the old top-down games to this new 3D game was the radio. We've talked about this in the past, but I didn't think we talked about the radio talking much.
Mm-hmm.
And the exposition that it provides on the world, not in a wider sense, but in a very narrow sense, in your particular area, either the Mojave Wasteland or the Capital Wasteland. What you get in Fallout a lot of the times is either very far away history or current time stuff.
Yeah.
Elsewhere. What you get there is stuff that happened a couple weeks ago and normal daily stuff. It's really immersive. And you're right, the charisma of the 2 characters makes it really good, and it makes you want to tune into the radio stations.
Yeah.
It's the same with Eden on the other radio station in 3. I don't know if you listen to that often. But,
no, yeah, I do. I listen to Enclave. I listen to Enclave. Like they also have, they have alternatives. So in Fallout 3, you can listen to Enclave Radio, and that's interesting too. And in Fallout New Vegas, you can listen to Black Mountain. And what's interesting in both of them, the alternative radio stations you can shut down, which is interesting. But the primary ones, Three Dog, even if you kill Three Dog, he's his assistant takes over, and Mr. New Vegas isn't in the game, so you can't kill him. But you can shut down Black Mountain, and you can shut down the Enclave radio in the main quest line. So that's something interesting. I've never thought about that before, but I just thought about
Maybe
it now.
there should have been like more consequences to that. Like the other guy thanks you.
Yeah, he's like my viewership has gone up.
We now have a second radio station,
Yeah,
Radio
yeah.
New Vegas 1 and Radio New Vegas 2, hosted by Mrs. New Vegas.
That would be interesting. But yeah, I think that's my 10th fear. I don't think it's gonna
Good fear.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good fear. I think it's good fear. Anyway, what's your 10th?
Yeah, it's a good fear. My 10th is also very unlikely to happen, and so I'll also mention it. My 10th fear is that it would be a console exclusive.
Oof.
Platform.
Oh, if that happened, apocalypse, like fire would. I'm a pacifist, but if that happened, I would go to the local gun store. There's a lot in America, if you didn't know. I would go to the local gun emporium, buy the biggest shotgun they have, get a good amount of ammunition, go to Maryland, hunt down Pete Hines, and blow his head off. Okay, that's what
You want to know what I would do?
What?
I would go to Game, and I would buy an Xbox.
see, mine's a lot more extreme. Yours is, okay. Me?
I'd be angry, but the first thought would be,
I
okay.
think the only reason you're not doing extreme, you have to buy a plane ticket to kill Pete Hines. So that's the big. Like
I'm sure there's some UK guys.
I have a car, so I can just drive there. It's like a road. It's like a Vendetta road trip. I can bring my friends.
You could
listen
pick
to
me up
tunes.
in Chicago.
Yeah, you fly into Chicago. I'll pick you up, and then we'll head through. I think their office is in Maryland. Because
Why don't we bash them to death with a console controller?
that too. Yeah. Yeah, the shotgun's really there just to make sure they don't try to call them. So
Wait, instead of killing them, why don't we just force them to to change it?
that too. We could do that. We could wear masks so they don't know, so we don't go to prison.
Or we could not wear masks and be the heroes.
Yeah. And then the cops are like, "We love Fallout. What the fuck's wrong with you, Pete Hines?"
We're obviously PC gamers.
And then the cops join us in the hostage situation. And then they have to bring in the National Guard to stop the cops. And the National
Guard of Fallout fans.
And then they have to bring in
The army.
Drones. No, they have to bring in robots. And the robots are like they find Fallout on the internet and they start playing it and then they stop.
Yeah. And then it's a UN
Eventually
matter.
Pete Hines like, fuck it. Let's take a day to port it over to PC. And everyone's like, yay!
And then it comes and it's awful and we're like, why did you port this?
Anyway, but
so that's
and then it starts all over again. Build the whole game from scratch on PC right now. But
I think we're gonna talk more. I think I'm gonna talk more about fears in this regard later on because there's like another related fear. But just basically, if it's even if it's a PC exclusive, that's a fear of mine because it shouldn't be. It should be on all three consoles so that everyone can enjoy the glory of this Fallout.
And it should definitely be on PC because Fallout is so. I mean, with mods and that sort of thing, it's so much more playable than it is on the consoles. In fact, the opposite of that is one of my future wishes. I won't get into it too deep, but one of my future wishes will definitely be, I would love it if they won't do it, but I would love it if they developed it on the PC and ported it to the consoles.
Yeah. I mean, again, I've got similar things like you to that later on.
But that's later on. So
wishes.
I said my first fear, so you said your first wish.
It's again one that's likely to happen, so it's quite low on. I want unique weapons to return because it is one of, if not my favorite, probably top 3 things about Fallout that I love.
Yeah, and I think specifically unique weapons from New Vegas, like because the unique weapons in Fallout 3 were I liked them at the time, and then I looked at unique weapons in New Vegas, and it's like, wow, these are nice. Like they're all so custom and they're beautiful, and they have story. That's one
of my problems with Shadow Warriors. The secrets are cool, but there's nothing really cool there, like a unique weapon. You know what I mean?
Wait, there's story behind the weapon in Shadow Warrior.
No, I'm talking about when you find like a secret and it's always the same like pool of blood.
No, secrets in classic shooters are not. They're stupid things you find in a wall. Like secrets are so stupid. Anyway, but
I know. If you have something cool like that you've had to hunt down like for like an hour on a like not even a real quest. It's an unmarked quest. It's just unique weapons. I even liked them in Fallout 3. They're just one of the coolest things about Fallout.
Yeah. So yeah, that is my That's oh no, that's yours. Anything else
Yep.
on unique weapons before I tell my favorite wish or my 10th wish, I should say?
That's a pretty simple one.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty simple one. Mine, also a very simple one, and one that I'm not sure if they'll do it, but it's one that's sort of not that game breaking for me. So that's why I picked it as my 10th wish.
Uh-huh.
I would definitely like it if they worked on better iron sights, more HD, more clarity with them, and a more workable iron sight. One that just seems to work a little better because they added iron sights in New Vegas, which is great. That's a great improvement. But I think they should continue to improve them because a lot of the iron sights in New Vegas, as we can all agree, were absolutely horrible. And I think that's not necessarily the fault of the weapons because the weapons, a lot of them, like for example, a plasma rifle doesn't have traditional iron sights, and I understand that, but I think they should just make the zoom a little more when you're looking through an iron sight, and I think they should make the weapon texture look a little more HD when you're looking down the barrel. You know what I mean? Because the weapon looks weird when you're looking down iron sights a lot in New Vegas, and I think that's a problem. So
I do agree with you.
Do you know what I mean?
I think they should continue to improve iron sights because there are things they could fix. I also play a lot with mods, which improves a lot of the energy weapons iron sights.
yeah,
So that's kind of like I haven't played without that for a while. But one thing I'll say is I like some screwed up iron sights. Survivalist rifle.
survivalist rifle, but that's because I think it's supposed to be screwed up.
Yeah, exactly.
But even on that, it's screwed up. But I think they should make the texture a little more HD when you're looking down the barrel. That's all I'm
Sure, that I 100% agree with you.
If it's screwed up on purpose, great. But I do think it should be a little more zoom and
Okay, I like how you say a little more HD. Higher fidelity.
higher fidelity. Yes,
I didn't.
it should be higher fidelity, hi-fi. Sniper rifle,
higher
and hi-fi.
resolution.
Yeah, higher resolution of pixels. And a little more zoom on the iron sights, and a little more zoom on scopes.
You wanted to zoom in a little bit more. What I like on scopes that isn't in Fallout is I think you should be able to change the zoom. There should be some like variable zoom scopes. I love that on sniper rifles when you can zoom in and out and stuff. It's awesome. So
Especially on huge scopes, like an anti-material rifle should have like 3 different zooms.
Yeah, I've slowly like 2 years ago, the anti-material rifle was one of my favorite weapons, and in the recent playthrough, I just haven't enjoyed it.
Dude, I hate the anti-material rifle. It's so big. It takes so long to fire each round. If you miss one, it used to be my Deathclaw fighting weapon, but if you miss a shot, you're fucked. It's
the reason why I liked it after Old World Blues came out is because the or the Gunrunner's Arsenal, whichever one it was, because you could put it's not a silencer, but if you're far enough away from the enemy, it's a silencer. It's like a suppressor. If you're a stealth character, it can actually be a silent sniper rifle. It's pretty cool. But I don't know, I just haven't found it working for me in recent playthroughs.
See, for me, the good weapon for killing, I used to be a good weapon for killing Deathclaws for me, but then when I switched to the Survivalist Rifle, to me that's my Deathclaw killing weapon because I can lay...
I use that, yeah.
What?
I use that.
Yeah.
For Deathclaws, I think.
For me, I can lay in 20 bullets into it, and I can keep shooting until it's dead.
It's quite high damage too.
It's high damage, high rate of fire. It's got both of those add up to a really high DPS.
Yes.
And high DPS weapons are good for killing enemy
unarmored targets.
Well, I should say good for killing enemies that move fast, because a one-shot sniper rifle great for hunting down humans because they don't get to you that quickly. So you can take your time, pull each shot, and they're not... Deathclaws, boom! Deathclaws hit you in a second. You don't have that much reaction time, so you better have a weapon that if you miss, you can fire 20 more shots that don't. You know what I mean? And the same thing with super mutants. When they run at you, they run. It's scary. It doesn't even make sense. The physics behind super mutants is bugged. Maybe that should be one of my wishes. Like, make the super mutants look a little more natural when they run. Like...
Look, mass over distance equals speed.
That doesn't make any sense. They're not sliding down a pool. They're running. I mean, Andrew, no.
He's got hops, man. He's got hops.
I understand if super mutants can run fast.
Mama taught that boy properly.
I understand if super mutants can run fast, but the animation for super mutants running, you gotta admit, almost looks like they just took a normal run and sped it up.
Once he gets going, he don't stop, son.
All jokes aside, do you know what I mean, though? Like, it looks weird.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I guess I don't pay attention. I just...
Every time I see a super mutant running at me, I think, that's someone normal running, and they just sped it up 3 times, instead of spending the time to animate a super. I think they're lazy as hell with supermutant animations. When I think about all the, like they just sort of ported Bethesda porting things. They just sort of ported human animations to a bigger body. And supermutants are completely different. They should be a different species. They should spend the time like they did with ghouls to give them all these very individual animations instead of just making them a human that's big. You know?
Yeah, I do. I haven't noticed it, but the way you described it sounds lazy. And
yeah, but like ghouls are great as far as the animations and everything they did with them. When they run at you, it looks completely natural. They're faster than human, but they run at you with their body. They run at you with their body back, with their hands out, so they look completely realistic, and that looks unique to a ghoul. But super mutants, they just sort of look like they're sprinting down a track twice the speed of a human, and that to me like doesn't look like they're going to attack you. It just looks like they're going to hug you.
Once he gets going,
swear to God, buddy.
That bitch don't stop.
Oh, that's another thing. Super mutants, they have incredible acceleration. They start at 0 and go to 50, while ghouls and humans take a little bit to get up to running speed. You know, I don't know. It's all very weird, but that's for I should talk about that in another episode.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, those were our least wishes and fears on the top 10 list. Next time I'll go to 9, and hopefully by then I'll have an actual succinct list. I think we should both make sure we do that before the next podcast, because I feel like it'll start getting weird if we make it one at a time, because then we'll forget ones. You know, I think we should work from one and go.
By the next podcast, it'll be easy to come up with a list because Fallout 4 will be out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
you're like, oh, I really like this. So yeah, that's boom. That's good for me.
Yeah, so this has been the Sunday Puddcast. That's gone quite well.
It has. Yeah.
Oof, God. Deal with it.